Hi, folks. Terry Norvell here, inviting you to join me and my broadcast partner, Patrick Young, weekdays at high noon for the Young and Norvell Show. Lunch is on you, the most compelling sports talk in the area. Well, that's on us. The Young and Norvell Show, weekdays at noon on ESPN 690.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Many of us enjoy being DIYers. Do you really need a financial advisor for retirement? Or can you just do that yourself too?
I wondered about that.
Well, it depends. Have the Talon Wealth team create a comprehensive financial plan personalized for you at no cost. Then you can compare what you're doing to what's possible with a team of fiduciaries on your side.
Okay.
Schedule now at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
When history repeats itself, so does care. Since 1945, when the original care package inspired a spirit of shared humanity around the world, care has seen war and famine, pandemics, and natural disasters. But we've also seen the power of hope and resilience. Now, care works in over 110 countries, reaching over 170 million people. But we need you to help everyone reach their full potential. Join at care.org.
Here at Forever Vets, we know how important reviews are, so we asked some of our clients how they felt about us. Cooper, the golden retriever, said,
"The vet pets me a lot, and I get treats, and my ear feels better, and I love it."
Jake, the Labrador, loves his time outside.
"The pool is so big, my tummy stopped hurting. Do you have a ball? Can you throw a ball? I like the pool."
Stella the Frenchie is one of our boarding clients.
"The accommodations are lovely. They adore me, like my mom, and provide me all the attention that I deserve. I would highly recommend them to a friend."
And our cat friend Charlie said,
"Whatever. I wasn't a fan of the shot, but Dad said I had to go. They were nice and didn't annoy me, so whatever."
We love all our patients and work to provide them the best care. Whether your fur baby needs annual shots or needs something a little more serious, our caring staff at Forever Vets loves all your furry family members and their unique personalities. Come visit one of our 12 locations across Jacksonville and let your pet become another satisfied member of the Forever Vets family. Visit forevervets.com to find the location near you.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids by providing comfort and normalcy to those who need it most. Learn how at starlight.org.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jacks weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Giant star running back Saquon Barkley out tomorrow night against the 49ers because of an ankle injury. An admission from Bears quarterback Justin Fields that he felt robotic in the loss to the Buccaneers, didn't feel like he was playing like himself. When asked why today, Fields answered, "Could be coaching. That's likely part of the problem," notes co-host of Cap and Hood on ESPN 1000 in Chicago, David Kaplan.
I don't think he has a big issue overall with the coaching staff. I do think he has an issue with some of the play calling, because some of the play calling has been awful. But Justin also has to wear the fact he's been awful too. Justin has played 2 terrible football games.
David Kaplan on Carlin versus Joe. Fields also said this week his goal is to just play football. The Browns are bringing back Kareem Hunt in the wake of the season-ending injury to All-Pro running back Nick Chubb. 1 year worth up to $4 million, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt did spend the past 4 seasons with Cleveland. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young held out of today's walkthrough with an ankle injury.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up on Thursday, I'll tell you which AFC North team is the one that is most likely to break away from the rest of the pack. We'll talk about that and more on Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPN2.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear.
Oh, but the diaper bed wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Casey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Midweek, that means we flip the page to Houston here in Jacksonville, where the Jags have not beaten the Texans here at home in 5 seasons? What in the hell is that?
You sound confused.
Yes. I know the Jags haven't been good. It feels like they're good now because of the second half of last year. But Houston hasn't been any great shakes itself. This streak includes Deshaun Watson driving with rib injury to Jacksonville and beating the Jags. I mean, he didn't even take that team playing, and he still beat them. What are we doing?
That's tough.
Why can't they beat the Houston Texans? They finally broke the streak. I think it was 7 in a row going into the end of the season last year, and then they put it on them. But man, oh man, Trevor hasn't been great against the Texans. Now the defense does change. I keep noting that. That's important to say, the regime and everything else that they're doing defensively. Sure. So maybe that will help them out. But this team can't beat Houston. Team can't beat a lot of teams before the end of last year. So, I mean, I get that. It's just a weird one to me. Like the Titans already have a thing. Jags have obviously been like 50-50 every year with the Colts. But Houston, they've been good, but they haven't been great. Not great enough to not beat them for 5 years.
Well, prior to drafting Trevor Lawrence, or when you drafted Trevor Lawrence and Trayvon Walker, you were literally the worst team in the league 2 years in a row.
I guess that's a couple of years then, right? And again, last year's loss was mind-numbing.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it was like, what in the world was that? Kind of like, what in the world was that on Sunday from an offensive perspective? Although one thing about Houston last year is they went up and down the field on him. Yep. They had over 400 yards of offense. It was like one of the most improbable things that you'll ever see, Casey. 400-plus yards and 6 points.
Yeah, it was awful. It was the worst. It was one of the worst football games ever played in the history of football.
Wow.
Look it up. They actually have that in there.
Wow.
The unfortunate part is there's like 8 or 9 Jags games on that list of the worst game of football ever played. Okay. Yeah, in the top 10.
Cool.
So, yeah, just figure out how to score in those 400 yards you win last year, and they got to figure out how to score this year after coming off a game that they did not figure out how to score. So here we are on a Wednesday, still trying to figure out how to score.
The good thing here is if the Jags have to beat a team to end a streak, Doug Pederson is the guy that will get it done. So hopefully there's some streak against Atlanta we don't know about in London and Buffalo as well. But end of this, just find me a streak.
They're 0-2
he's
against
a streak
Atlanta
buster
in their last 2.
There you go.
He
Find me a
found it.
streak, and Doug Peterson's going to take advantage of it.
Now, what is the streak at home against the Texans? Isn't that still alive at 5 or something like that?
That's 5. Yes, that's what I mean. It's basically, it was 7 until last year, the end of the year. Again, Jags were playing for everything and playing. They were hot, and the Texans were playing for the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
And it showed in that game. They really whooped them. But even the offense in that game was just very pedestrian. But 5 in a row.
Yards.
5 in a row in Jacksonville. I don't think the starters played that whole game, if I'm not mistaken, in Houston last year, too. That was the one right before the Tennessee game. So, and it didn't really matter. But they rested their guys, I think, late in that game, if I recall.
Still burned them for like 170 on the ground.
Houston did?
No.
Oh, the Jags did. Yeah, Jags ran the ball pretty well. The defense, as Trevor said today, their defense has played well against Houston.
Yeah.
Been there. It's really been an offensive
games last
problem.
year, for sure.
So, does it get fixed?
I mean, you certainly hope so, don't you? Doug said it in his presser today, and we'll get to these cuts in a second here. But, week 3 is still early, technically, but you're running out of runway on that early thing. You're getting to the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, the stuff that and again, the thing about this football team is they were supposed to kind of hit the ground and go.
Yes, that was the whole point to the continuity.
There's not supposed to be like this build. No, I understand it's early in the year and not a lot of tape out there and everything else. So, there was a little bit of that across the National Football League. I mean, you can make the case Cincinnati should have hit the ground running too, but even Burrow missed the last 3 weeks of camp. So there's an excuse.
And no one is saying anything about this being a preseason thing? Less action in the preseason, less vigorous workouts, less game action for starters.
Really, the story that came out of today from Doug and then Trevor talked about it too is that they didn't practice well last week, which I've got to be honest with you, this might just be a me thing, and I understand it from a coach's perspective. I don't necessarily believe if you practice well, you play well. I also really don't put a ton of stock into practice this time of year because training camp feels like the practice of all practices where you're really burning through it and you're conditioning and you're getting a lot of reps in and working. And the practice changes here in the NFL season. Wednesday and Thursday are pretty good practices, pretty long and repped and obviously putting game plans in. Friday's a lighter day, and then Saturday's a walkthrough. So in my mind, I'm just saying this is in my mind. I'm not saying reality. Like practice just doesn't feel like that big a part of the equation for me as much as the actual plan does in place. And I also don't think every team that's ever practiced well, played well on Sunday or in any sport had a good infield practice that day, defended very well on the baseball diamond. I mean, we used to talk about it all the time. We'd have the worst infield right before the game and then play lights out. It just doesn't correlate sometimes for whatever reason. So it was interesting to hear Doug say we didn't practice well. I thought Trevor answered it in a way that I could understand. Like, you got to get used to getting back into the flow of the season. These guys hardly played any ball from a game standpoint in the preseason. They were in a different kind of rhythm of practice was almost harder than the games. They go and play against the Colts, and it's a physical game. They're playing for 4 quarters. First time their bodies have dealt with that since last January. And then you got to be able to get back in the cold tub and in the recovery room and everything else, and then back on the practice field and switch boom to the next week. So I kind of understood what he was saying there, and maybe that's a little bit of a thing and an early wake-up call. But I like the fact that Doug pointed out that, hey, we weren't really on our game in practice, and it showed up. Like, that's a cool thing for a coach to be able to say. It's like, hey, let's get after this. Pay attention to detail. Everything matters, right? Today matters just as much as Sunday's going to matter. And we'll see if it does for the Jags.
Well, I was curious when I heard Doug make these comments, whether he was talking about him and his staff or the players and how they practice through the week.
I think it was his way of maybe taking some accountability. That was my interpretation.
That was my interpretation,
like,
too.
We didn't get them to practice well enough.
Right. But then, and Case, I'll be going to cut 4 here from, cut 2 here from Trevor. When Trevor was asked about those comments, because technically it could be construed as he's talking about the players and them not doing their job during the week last week, I thought Trevor's answer was interesting. Once again, cut 2.
I think that's the adjustment when you get in the season and when you play these long physical games. Even take like the Colts game, the first game. That was a physical, tough 4-quarter game, and you just got to get used to bouncing back and being ready to go on Wednesday, Thursday for practice because you got to get the game plan in. You got to get those reps to feel good about it. And I don't think we did a great job necessarily last week of doing that, especially on Wednesday. So that's the emphasis this week. The guys are ready to go. I think we're really locked in. Guys are ready. We got to bring some energy and get back on track.
So the weak link there sounds like the bounce back as opposed to maybe a coach not doing their job and preparing the team as much. But I don't know. I find that a little harder to believe than maybe we didn't execute our coaching strategy well enough.
Well, I think, first of all, it all goes together. Right. I mean, the leadership on the football team has to make sure that you practice well. The coaches have to make sure you practice well. You're dotting I's and crossing T's and the intensity, all that stuff. Like, you're being a professional about it. So, I understand the context of it. And how about this? The Jags come off the Miami game, and their offense is cooking. Let's just totally talk about offense right now because obviously defense is fine. But they're cooking coming off that Miami game in their limited reps. Everybody feels good. Didn't you feel good? I felt good coming off that Miami game. Like, hey, this is what we're going to see. Okay, Tank Bigsby fumbled at the goal line, but everything else was just, perfect. And whether Miami played everybody, and I know they took people out earlier, you still Miami's a good team, and they did this, and they did what we thought they were going to do. So for 2 weeks later, you don't do anything in terms of like nobody sees you in action. It's all practice stuff. Then you go out and sputter a little bit, but you still sputter and put up 31 points. I understand the mentality, human nature-wise, of the offense saying, all right, listen, we stumbled a bit out of the gates. But we've been seeing it all the last month and a half. We know we're good.
Just
and
kind of
we just
resting
scored,
on your laurels
yeah, we
a
just
little
scored
bit.
31. We're fine. Like, offense ain't going to be a problem. And then you go out there and kind of, again, not half-ass it, but you're just not as sharp in practice as maybe you need to be. I think a lot of that, guys, is human nature. And then you get to Sunday and it doesn't show up, and maybe this was this awakening a little bit, an early eye-opener for the Jags to be like, well, okay, maybe we're not as good as we think we are.
Again, if it is what it is, then that's fine. It's hard to relate to that when you're about to play the Chiefs versus going up against the Texans. Like, I get if last week's game was the Texans and they don't come out sharp from a tough game against the Colts, you're like, maybe we can take a couple of days to recover here because we have a team that we feel is maybe not as good as we are coming up. But when it's the Chiefs, I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't happen. Let's be honest. I mean, these guys are professionals, and they should be ready to go all the time, and you can't even let a little bit of that stuff leak in. But the evidence is there.
Yeah.
If they want to say practice, fine, we'll believe them. The evidence is what Trevor did say in this news conference today, is that nobody played well on offense. You can talk about the offensive line all you want, but nobody played well. Really, we said it yesterday. Maybe Walker Little's the only guy that could come off that football field and say, I played pretty well today on offense. Nobody else could sign up for that. And so it is a whole thing. I guess that was probably my other big takeaway from today is that they don't seem to be that concerned about the offensive line. They think it's more of a whole picture thing on offense than it is this guy or that guy or this unit and that unit.
Well, Doug spent a lot of time talking offensive. I should say the media spent a lot of time asking Doug about the offensive line during that press
conference. We spent a lot of the last
conference.
couple of days talking about the offensive line.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how long it was, but if it was 10 or 15 minutes in the presser, it was like 8 minutes on the offensive line. But, Case, I'll be going to cut number 2 on this one. Just broadly, when asked, Doug reflected on what he thinks maybe the issues are at this point with the line.
There is some continuity that has to be worked through with that offensive line. There's communication that has to be worked through. Ben's working himself back in as a starter again. Missing a few games from last season. Walker's playing tackle for the first time, kind of full time over there right now, and we got a young right tackle. So there's some pieces that still need to work together, but they're coached well and they practice hard, and we'll work through those.
And if I'm Walker Little, I'm like, don't put my name in this group right now. I did okay.
You have to do that as a coach sometimes.
Of course.
You can't single him
Of
out.
course. But how unfair. This guy's scratching and clawing for any play time, and he delivers every time, and then Doug's like, yeah, he's in there too.
I think the tape doesn't lie. He can handle that part. I think the tape says he's playing pretty good football. I thought he said something interesting there. We know they're coached well. And we raved about Phil Rauscher all last year, really. I thought he did a nice job with that line. And you saw the growth of that line coming off that first week against Washington. They got better and better. They had replacements ready to go, like a Walker Little when Cam Robinson went out, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, Tyler Shatley filled in for Barch. I really do like Rauscher. I think their offensive line play was much improved last year with Rauscher as the offensive line coach. So I would echo that. Like, I believe what Doug's saying there. He's a good coach. Like, you're starting to feel that way about Mike Caldwell, right? I mean, if Mike Caldwell and this defense have a couple of down weeks, yeah, you might put some blame on him. That's okay. That's part of the gig. But you're also like, hey, you know what? They had some down weeks last year, and they figured it out. Like, they kept moving things around, figured it out, and they're off to a good start this year. So there is some equity built in the coaching staff to say they'll fix it. They'll figure it out. Like, I think there's a confidence around here that they'll figure it out, and then hopefully the players do too. Now, you can wonder if the offensive line's good enough. Fair enough. You can wonder if Anton Harrison is good enough and playing right tackle. Is that where he should be, and can he get it done? We'll see. I thought that was pretty interesting today, too. Doug went almost out of his way to make sure he stayed with a confident mindset on Anton Harrison, not to kind of squash him this early in his career. We talked about that. That's probably an important part of it. You can't bury the kid yet. It's very early in his career.
Not only that, but it's not like he's going up against chumps. His first couple of games of his NFL career, he's going up against some heavy hitters there. As a matter of, like you said, Doug talked about it, and That was one of the things he referenced, Case, cut 5.
Yeah, you grow up as a young player. You grow up fast in this league, and it's unfortunate there's no time for really development and growth. You just got to go do it, and it's our job to help him, and he'll be better. He'll be a lot better this week. He'll be a lot more confident, in his ability, and should be a good matchup.
Here's what gives me confidence in Harrison. And again, what do we have to know? What do we go on? Well, Fortner struggled out of the gates. Remember Casey Clay Harbor was sending him to the sideline?
I do.
Like, he was out. But and by the way, we kind of make fun of that with Clay because then Fortner turned it on. But Clay wasn't wrong. Like, Fortner was really bad in the opener last year, his first game as in the NFL. And he wasn't great in the second game, especially the first half of that second game. And then he turned it up a notch. And that's what Doug's probably hoping for with Anton Harrison. You're right. He's played 2 quality opponents. They're picking on him a little bit. The young guy. That's what you do in game planning. And
doesn't make it not
still,
true.
Probably in the back of his mind, still struggling with a little bit of a shoulder because they said he's going to have to work through that probably for the whole thing. So I don't know. This one's more blind faith to me, much like if we were sitting here last year in week 3, it was a little blind faith on Luke Fortner. I don't know what to tell you if he's going to be better. But Fortner did get better. He got a lot better. We didn't even talk about him the rest of the year last year. Hopefully that's the case with Harrison. They can figure that out. And Doug actually was like, this is going to be a big week. Like, he put that confidence publicly in him. Like, he is going to be much better this week. I don't know what gives him that confidence that he's going to be much better this week.
It's interesting you phrase it like that because to me, it's like you put the pressure on him as opposed to the confidence in him. It's nice to have a vote of confidence from the coach, but it's another thing when he's like, he's going to be better this week. All right.
I don't know. Like, sometimes you got to feed these guys confidence, right? Mm-hmm. And I felt like that's what Doug was doing there. Not to say Harrison, is in his own head, but it's also like you wear it. You're the first round pick, and you're not getting it done right now. To the point where yesterday on the show, we were like, hey, are we talking enough about that this guy hasn't played right tackle? And is Walker Little going to go to right tackle when Cam Robinson comes back? Like, that's what the noise is already starting to at least be built in Jacksonville around him. So he really could use a good game. He might be the most important guy to have a good game on this football roster.
That's not a bad point. And, another issue with this offensive line that I don't think gets talked about as much because we talk about the team having so much continuity is the fact that there is a little bit of musical chairs happening. We started talking a little bit about it yesterday, specifically with Walker Little. Maybe instead of left guard, they should be looking at right tackle or so-and-so. But Cam out and then coming back. Walker at left and then moving somewhere else, whether it's Ben Barch having to get moved at that point or Anton Harrison having to get moved at that point. Doug made the point to address it as well. It's not the first time he's dealt with that case. Cut 3.
I look back to that last season. I was there in Philly. I mean, we lost 4 of the 5 starters, and it's hard in this league. Defensive front sevens are too good. They're too strong. They're too fast. Things are moving quickly. And yeah, it can affect you. But we continue just to work with these guys. We, have good practices every day and keep building and heading in the right direction.
So that's the role. They got to just build in the right direction.
Yeah, they just got to get the job done. Here's the deal. This team, I feel like we know what it is. I feel like we know who they are. They're just not who they are yet.
I'd like to believe that, but you don't really have a large trough of evidence as to this year's team doing that.
No, I get
like
that.
You'd like to believe if you add a Calvin Ridley, you get better with the receivers. If you add a first-round pick in Anton Harrison, maybe you're able to replace what you lost in Juwan Taylor, but you don't know what it looks like.
Well, that's more of a mystery, but I'm just saying as a whole. First of all, the defense is playing way better than we even thought it would play right now, but this offense isn't bad. I don't think there's anybody that believes this offense is bad. I think they're struggling a little bit out of the gates. I don't know how long that's going to last, but there's no part of me that believes that this offense isn't going to move and score points and get it going. Like, I don't know why you would think that. There's nothing to believe that. The only thing that would kind of enter my mind if that's the case is they figured out, like, what Doug's calling and wants to call and how he wants to run the offense. But I just don't see it. I think even if you knew what they wanted to call, I think they have so many weapons that you can, as long as you get it to the right guy and pick the right choice, you're probably going to have some success. And that was the other thing about Sunday. And when it hasn't worked with Doug Pederson in Jacksonville, even going back to early last year, the stuff is there. Like, it's there. It wasn't as eye-poppingly there on Sunday because the Chiefs did a good job of shutting some of it down, but the stuff is there enough to be had. I mean, we talk about the screenplay. That is a huge play. 4 plays in the back of the end zone, whether you get the feed in or you throw it a little bit better or a little bit earlier, whatever. Those plays can be made. Like, they are there to be made. If you don't call your own number, if that's what Trevor did on the 1st and goal, you score, right? The plays are there to be made. Just like last year when we would criticize a little bit this offense, and I would say, hey, Doug ain't wrong. You can say that you should have done this or that, but the play is open. Doug's big moment, I mean, for me, the criticism I give Doug from last week is his call at midfield, not the play call, but the idea of going for it when you haven't even picked up 5 yards like more than once in the game on a single play. And then you just can't give your quarterback that option on 1st and goal. You can't. Like, if that's how it's going to turn out, then please take that option out of Trevor's mind, right? That's easy hindsight, I understand, but don't let him do that there. Just say, hey, Trev, I know you kind of – because this is the first time he's improvised down there.
Yeah.
You know, you go back to – I think there are two plays, and both of them worked. And if I'm Trevor and I'm like, both of them worked, then why not go to the well again?
Sure, you're batting 1,000.
Now, he might have done it even more. But the stiff arm against Tennessee, right? And he almost got denied.
Sure.
But he did it. That was very similar to the play he ran. He just ran it to the other side. And then the QB sneak, I think it was on the 2-point conversion against
Chargers.
The Chargers. Because I think Doug, if you look at his face, like, what are you doing? We didn't call that. And the danger there was they're not blocking for a QB sneak, so you might have something go wrong. So this isn't the first time.
But it's interesting because those are the times we hear about. You wonder how often he's calling
maybe
this
there's
number.
More,
yeah.
right? Yeah, maybe there's more. And I don't mind. By the way, if you trust Trevor enough to make his own, that's fine. I can live with that.
I kind of hope he's doing it a lot more than what we know, just because I think it's a good omen for what you're going to have in 5 years.
But and most people who are breaking down that play at the goal line, Casey, he went to the strong side of it. Like, if you're going to call your number, he went to the side where there were free runners. And that's why he got stuffed. I mean, if he takes it to the other side where it's the weak side, or you just don't do it because you see the strong side over there, I mean, that was really the mistake in it.
I think the whole thing was the mistake.
The whole thing was probably a mistake.
Starting from whatever.
Lined up in shotgun, right?
Yes, starting from whoever said, let's line up in the gun. That was strike one. And everything from there just went wrong.
So, okay, let's go with the confidence meter. Confidence meter that they score, I don't know, that they look more like they should.
Out of what?
One out of 10?
Yeah. Or 100?
No. That's too many numbers. People don't like numbers.
I can't even count that.
Yeah. Confidence meter 1 to 10 that the Jags look like the Jags offense should look on Sunday.
7.5.
6.
Really?
I like that about you, Casey. I knew you'd go negative a little bit. But that's pretty good for you. And I don't blame you for that.
I don't think that's pretty good.
I think you got to be able to show it. My one hang-up
against the worst team in the league, or one of them.
I would say they'd go score 27 points, no problem, maybe even make it to the 30s. My one hesitation is that Houston's had their number, and trends like that, it doesn't matter with new coaches, new anything. It seems like it usually stays the same. But I do have confidence that the Jags got a little fire in their belly this week and are going to come out with something to prove. And when that's happened, they have answered the bell. Second half of last year and early this year, even against Indianapolis when they broke that streak.
I mean, another thing to give you hesitation is the fact that the Texans like to rush the quarterback. And that is something the Jaguars have struggled with early on.
But see, I also like this. When your offensive line gets kind of called out 2 weeks in a row, or at least that's the noise, see, I think they come ready to play.
Man, you better pick up the phone and call Robert Saleh and let them know too then.
Yeah, but they need to do that. The Jets do need to do that.
Sure.
Or they're just not good. You either step up your game or you're just not good.
Now we've discovered the problem.
Right? And they might not be good.
Are you saying that we'll know after this week if both the Jets and the Jags offensive lines are bad?
Ooh. I think I would buy into that way more, that they just...
Because I already know,
I'm just asking.
Yeah, like
you think they're bad.
No, I know they're bad.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad.
I know they're bad. It doesn't matter what you think. It's what I know. And I know the Jets offensive line is bad too.
Ooh, buddy. Cold take.
Cold take?
I'm kidding.
It's like, what? Tore his Achilles out there.
Brent Friends on ESPN 690. More Trevor Lawrence, Doug Pederson on the way.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny skies, breezy at the coast. A few isolated showers coming in off the Atlantic. Temperatures reach the mid-80s today, upper 80s well inland. Some showers develop overnight, especially at the coast. Overnight, we drop down to the low 70s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-one-fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Mortno from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 and a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Whether you're driving city streets or country roads, need a vehicle with room for the whole crew or just for two. If it's for business or pleasure, every great journey begins with a great ride. So come get yours today with Rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Rent a Toyota at Arlington is the best way to try it before you buy it. You can even rent 2024 models. So what are you waiting for? Get the ride you really want and competitive rental rates you need with Rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjax.com.
I wouldn't be exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs and without surgery. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. That's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today. Imagine this fall moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, playing golf, playing with the grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started. 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522 for a free consultation with QC Kinetics.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options. What we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing, but lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
More at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. FantasyCardBreaks.com.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Casey Kurtz.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
We got Fantasy Card Breaks coming up in about an hour. Davoli's House of Cards.
Yes.
I had a good team again last week, but I had Chubb on Monday night. And
You got 4th.
is that what I got?
Yeah.
Is that out of the money? Top 3 money?
I think it's top 3.
Look at this guy always concerned with money, Casey.
I know.
Brent's always concerned with money.
All right, so here's what I want. I'm going to do it anyway, okay? And Casey's like, yeah, maybe wait. No, I'm doing it.
Oh,
So I'm gonna
listen, you put you right on top of the vice president in charge of the pay no mind list, Case.
Sounds good. I just want to be clear. If you win, you go to Brent Martineau to collect.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm
see
paying.
how that works.
I'm paying.
The number is 904.
Oh, hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
I'm paying for your entry.
Hey.
Nice.
I'm going to get free entry.
about
And
the
so
listener?
you take my entry. I'm not paying your entry.
Oh.
I'm paying you out there in Jacksonville.
Already lying to
and
people.
beyond. You don't have to be in Jacksonville to play this. And you take my entry, and we'll do it live at 4:30, and we'll see if you win. But just to let you know, this guy was in the money in the first week and just outside the money because of Nick Chubb's injury this week. I had 2 good teams in a row.
That's great.
It's very simple. I mean, it's like a $25 entry fee.
And it's fun.
And it's really fun.
Yeah.
So we got to get people rocking and rolling on this. I think you'll love it. And you can play each week. You can play once a month. You can play whenever you want at the Boys House of Cards. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz. We're staying with the Jags conversation. We really don't know a lot about Houston. Do you think you know anything about Houston?
I know at least one thing about Houston.
What's that?
I know that they can rush the passer. Trev told me.
I know plenty about Houston.
Doug told me as
Really?
well.
I don't feel like I know
He
anything
said their
about
dog's
this
getting after
rendition
the
of Houston.
quarterback. Case, I asked you in the break, where do you think they're ranked? Pass, rush, win, rate as a team.
11th.
11th is a good guess for Houston. That's an up-and-coming team. Young guys on it, right? They're
No,
higher.
it's not.
They're higher than that.
7th.
They're higher than that.
5th.
They're higher than that.
3rd.
Through 2 games, they are ranked 2nd in the entire league, only to the Dallas Cowboys on pass, rush, win rate.
This seems like a bad matchup.
I'm just saying it's not a good time unless that offensive line, like you said, gets pissed off and does something about it.
Okay, so they got Will Anderson. Who else are they? Who's else doing well?
His name is Greenard, Jonathan
Jonathan
Greenard.
Grenard.
Grenard
Former
from
Gator.
Florida, yeah. So he's still playing well off the rip.
23% pass, rush, win rate.
What did I
for
tell you
Jonathan
guys?
Grenard.
He's been a nice
Texans
find.
will be good.
Yeah, he's been a nice find for Houston.
Nice find. He had 9 sacks that
Not
year for the
to
Gators.
not to
Well,
pour
I know, but
salt
wasn't
on
he
the
picked
wound.
in like the 3rd round, Casey? Did he drop down there?
Third
like
round. Quality players.
He was 3rd round?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a nice find to get in 3rd round. There was a lot of people thought he could go like late 1st, early 2nd, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, those are smart people.
He's doing pretty good.
He ended up with 9 sacks.
Not to pour,
With Florida.
pour
Yeah.
salt on the wound, but
with
you guys
Florida.
know who the 3rd-ranked edge pass rush win rate fella is?
The human,
Yes.
3rd
Yeah,
in the
you're
league.
You're familiar with him, yes.
Key to the city.
Key to the city. Arden Key, who, by the way, right behind him is his teammate Danico Autry, another AFC South team that gets after the quarterback.
Not shaping up.
After we saw the Colts really focused on getting after the quarterback. Guys, we spent all offseason talking about Trevor Lawrence, the wide receivers, Travis Etienne, the dynamism of this offense, and how they're playing against these young quarterbacks in the AFC South or these washed quarterbacks in the AFC South. One thing that we may not have accounted for is the fact that they know that too. And this is the weak link in the armor, and it may be exposed if something's not done.
Yeah, listen, with 2 games in, the skewed sample of everything right now. And I'll say this even we don't know if the Jags defense is going to do this all year. It's a 2-game sample. Now, they did against Kansas City, so that's nice. The rookie quarterback, a little bit different. But they did do it against Kansas City, and that was impressive.
Impressive.
And now they get another rookie quarterback coming. This is where you got to take advantage of those guys. And, I mean, Stroud's off to a nice start. I think Stroud was the most ready guy to actually jump in and just kind of blend into
Certainly
an offense.
seems that way now.
And it looks like he is that. He's the safe guy. He's not a high ceiling guy. He's more of a safe guy. But I still don't. Okay, so Houston's front could give you some problems. We know Dameon Pierce can give you problems, but he went for like 15 for 31 last week.
I'm out on Dameon Pierce. 2
Really?
weeks in a row, got stuck with him in fantasy card breaks. Stunk. both
Yeah,
weeks.
15 for 31. I mean, Nico Collins, I guess, could develop into a nice player, but he's really their only player on the outside. So, somebody's got to get the football, and he did a lot of that in garbage time. Some of his numbers, those might have been a little bit, keep an eye on that or wink at those numbers for a moment. You get more tape on Stroud. which is always nice. See, that's the problem early on. When you play early rookies, you just don't know what you're going to get. But now you got a couple weeks of tape. That's helpful for the Jags defense. There's confidence from me that the Jags defense is going to do their job. I don't think they're just going to go off and give up 27, 30 points to Houston. They're not that kind of offense. They're just not talented enough on offense. Their offensive line has been beat up. I mean, this really does come down to the front of Houston that could give you the most trouble.
Yeah.
But, I mean, game-changing kind of trouble.
You know who else is on Houston's front now? Dogby.
Did he get picked up?
Remember Dogby? He plays for Houston.
Aren't they banged up in the secondary, too, in Houston? They were, at least. They've been. Trevor mentioned that today. So,
they got Dogby.
Guys, this is not about Houston is my point. This is about the Jags. Go put up points. Go score. Execute your stuff. Do all the things you're supposed to do. And then have your defense play halfway decent, even if they don't play as lights out as they've been. My guess against this defense, the way they are right now, teams are going to now come into Jacksonville or welcome you into their home stadium, and they're going to look at the Jags defense, and they're not going to be like, whoa, this is an unbelievable defense, but they're going to be like, these guys are going to get the ball. Take care of the pill. And they're going to really emphasize that. Now, does that make you conservative in your game calling? With a rookie quarterback, it could.
It could.
To me, it says, Jags, stop the run, and you've got a big-time advantage. If Dameon Pierce doesn't beat you in this game, I'll take my chances that the combination of Stroud and Nico Collins beat you on Sunday in Jacksonville.
Stop the run, and also are gaining a reputation as straight-up ball hawks.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's just a thing we've learned about this football team, and they're going to go get it. So, good news, by the way. I buried the lead. Josh Allen, limited,
but he'll play.
But seems like he's going to play. Telling you, my eyes did not scream that on Sunday afternoon when I saw him in the locker room.
Good.
Shoulder sprain is one of those kind of things, though, where you're not going to break your shoulder off. You're going to play through pain, essentially. Is it not?
Yeah, but he was in a lot of it, man.
Well, I'm not saying it's he should be able to play. What is it?
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, when they're making decisions on that stuff, usually it's a matter of, can you injure it worse?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how that works with a shoulder
pain
sprain.
tolerance. All about pain tolerance a lot in this league when it comes to those kind of injuries. I'm just telling you, and I did tell you on Monday even. I was like, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't think he's going to play. Yeah. And if he does play, that's a great sign for that defense. Zay Jones day to day on an injury front, so that obviously is a little something. And that is one area where you almost wonder if they take a guy off the field from a wide receiver standpoint and a guy that you have to feed the ball to, does it actually open things up a little bit more and put less pressure on Doug Pederson, Press Taylor, and Trevor Lawrence to feed these guys the football? I know people want all the weapons in the world. I think it's harder than people think it is to get in a rhythm when you're trying to get everybody the ball.
Yeah, and you did see the target shares get adjusted pretty significantly week 1 to week 2. Week 1, Ridley getting the lion's share. Week 2, Christian Kirk's number jumped. Ridley's number fell a little bit. So the ball is getting moved around. Travis Etienne out there on a lot of snaps, but not necessarily seeing a ton of targets. I think Trev's doing a good job of overall trying to find his guys, but I do think you have a point there. At some point, you just got to play how it comes to you and not worry about who's getting the ball. Not to say Trevor is so consumed with spreading the ball out equally, but you see Mahomes do it. It seems almost effortless. You don't really understand the process that goes through his head on those plays. But, man, if you want to talk about a guy to emulate, I'd say Mahomes is a good one to do.
All right, I got duped here.
All right.
You're one of these folks that when you get a phone call or a text message, that you'll have conversations back and forth with them.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right? You've told us that.
You mean phone calls and texts that don't necessarily, they weren't intended to come to
That's
me.
true. Yeah,
Yes.
they're like scam call, whatever.
Yeah, or like one of these real estate agents who blind text people.
Yeah.
And
one of
try
those
to get you
yesterday.
to sell the house. Yeah.
Well,
Did you
today
sell the
about
house?
2:42, exactly at 2:42.
All right.
I get, hi, Julie, we are going to play golf tomorrow.
Did you ask him where?
No, I said,
That would have been my
this
question.
isn't Julie.
No.
So I said, that just obviously wrong number.
See, this is where Brent falls short
What
because
did
he could have been marketing the Dream 18 for next year to this person.
I could have. Okay, so then this person says, I don't know if my phone has a mind of its own or if I'm just really good at sending messages to the wrong people.
Ooh.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Now, this would have been a whole thing for me. I would have spent my whole afternoon with this.
So I say, no problem. Play well.
All right. Nice job. Give him a little well wishes.
Conversation's over.
Well, for you.
No. Thank you for your forgiveness and polite reply.
Scam.
It's always good to have one more friend by accident.
Scam.
My name is Ann. Originally from Singapore, currently living in L.A. I'm 36 years old. How about you?
Oh, there you go.
I'm either being asked out on a date or I'm getting scammed.
So what'd you reply?
I'm not replying anymore.
No.
This conversation's over.
What are you doing?
What? Reply.
What do you want me to reply?
Let Aaron do it.
Yeah, let me hit. Just give me your phone. I'll set it up.
Yeah, you will set it up.
I'll set it up. Don't worry about it.
Say my name is Bert.
It's Bert.
I ironically live in wherever that person lives as well.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I'm
how
actually
did that
looking at you
morph
through your
into
window
that?
right
Like,
now.
I hit the wrong number to now I'm a man, 36 years old, used to live in Singapore, now live in L.A.
Because
I don't
at
need
some
to know
point
that.
it's going to get to, hey, here's my PayPal account that you could send the money to.
You should be like, yeah, I live in L.A. also. Buy the In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, let's meet there.
All these scams, man. Everyone's out there scamming. And
Have
these
you had
scammers
the
are just
scam that started with let's play golf tomorrow?
Well, they're just
They knew
hoping
how
to
to
hit a
get
boomer's
you.
phone. You don't know that maybe they work for a criminal organization that may have had a data breach at a golf club that had your name and phone number on it.
Oh, and now you want me to go back and forth with them and entertain this.
You already went back and forth. They got
did it
you.
already.
It's over.
Now you're in the
It's over.
conversation.
You might as well play along.
I might as well give them my credit card.
No, I'm not saying that. But you might as well entertain this person for a little bit.
Or give
Should
them
I
a
ask if
credit
they
card.
want to come on the show?
Yeah, actually.
That would actually be
I mean, I'd be doing all of it for content.
Brent's
Off
scared.
my phone.
I mean, whatever, man. Sometimes you just got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. So concerned about
I did
your
just
phone.
get the new, I just ordered up the new iPhone.
The 15.
I
you go
did.
Pro Max?
Pro Max.
All right, a fancy man like you's got to go Pro
Went to a
Max. I like it.
terabyte, in fact, in storage space.
I'm not sure how necessary that is, but if you want to have the most of everything, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I get the best of the best.
Do you use the cloud?
Yeah, that thing's full.
All right, so maybe you did need the terabyte.
I feel like they should give you more room in the cloud.
You could buy more.
Keep in mind, you're talking to the guy who's recorded every single game his kids have played ever for 18 years. They play multiple times a week.
You should consider buying a mobile hard drive and taking that off
I do
the
have
cloud.
that at home, too.
Yeah.
I don't record all of my games, all the games with the phone.
Ty's 8th game from 2017. He went 1 for 4. Brent's got it.
Oh, I have every one.
He's trying to figure out why he swung at that pitch up in the zone.
Yeah,
Still.
we're breaking that thing down still from 2015. What the hell was that?
What's happening here?
I'm proud of you on that iPhone 15 Pro Max. Way to go.
Yes, but unfortunately, it's not going to be in until like the middle of October.
Well,
after
hashtag
London.
iPhone, sure.
Damn it.
You could
I
get a
wanted to get it
Pixel
by
like
London.
your boy.
I might get a
I'm
Pixel.
very happy with my Google products.
I'm all in on iPhone. We'll be back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Thanks for listening, Ann.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Catch Florida State football on Jacksonville's home for ESPN 690. Saturday, the Seminoles travel to Death Valley to take on the Clemson Tigers. Our coverage starts Saturday morning at 9:30 with the Florida State Tailgate Show. Then Jeff Colhane, William Floyd, and Tom Block have the call from Death Valley of Knowles Tigers. Kickoff at 12 noon Saturday. Florida State football is powered by Bass Professional Realty, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Willie Jewell's Barbecue.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnik Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnik Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnik Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnik Buick GMC. Experience used-phoria with Car Bravo online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Fantasy Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling mandarin marshmallow. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Fantasy Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial ** invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
Hey guys, it's me, Pete the Job Guy. You know you listen to my show every weekend, but listen, if you need staffing assistance of any kind, you call the good folks at Ascendo Resources. My co-host Angie Langlois and I'm Pete Langlois or Pete the Job Guy. Just reach out to me, Pete at PeteTheJobGuy.com, and I can guarantee you there hasn't been a qualified candidate genocide. We know where they're at, and we can fill your open jobs. Ha ha!
Did you know Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm? Morgan & Morgan even covers you if you get hurt in Sandwich, Illinois, or why not, North Carolina. Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back for the fall semester at UNF. The Ospreys swoop into the fall with a busy schedule. Soccer, cross country, volleyball, and swimming. The ASUN just announced swimming and diving as a sponsored sport now. They will compete in ASUN play. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. Men's and women's basketball schedules are out as well, so you can get your season tickets for the basketball schedule right now. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFospreys.com. And swoop for the Ospreys all season.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Gates gonna like that or no? Did he give me a dirty look?
Well, I don't think he heard you.
I didn't hear you. I have my headset on.
But I don't think he'll like it.
Steve says phones are busy. He's got 2 important topics
they are.
to discuss.
I have my cut sheet on top of my phone.
There you go, Steven.
It's already ringing.
Steven listens well. I give him credit.
Steve Boston?
Yeah.
All right. Steve from Boston.
I was thinking of this before we get to Steven. I saw Austin Eckler missing practice again today.
Yeah, he's got an ankle issue.
So, I don't do a lot of fantasy football stuff other than fantasy card breaks.
No.
So I was thinking just in the first 2 weeks and maybe even entering week 3, who is hurting fantasy teams the most? What player being out or in and out? Or
I mean, there are some who are in and still hurting. I think Casey would sit here telling you about Kyle Pitts till the sun came back up tomorrow. But
Kyle Pitts stinks.
He does not.
Well,
he does.
He just can't get a target.
It's got to be like Jonathan Taylor. Is he killing like your fantasy team?
Nah, because no one drafted him too high.
We all knew this was happening.
Okay. So
it has to be someone who just stinks. Bro.
Kyle Pitts. No. Austin Eckler would have been someone's 3rd or 4th pick.
Yeah.
Not getting points from him hurts every week.
Kelsey
got me 18 last week.
He got 18 points last week?
Maybe it was
No
12, and
way.
I'm thinking of someone else. It was 12 and change. It was double digits, though.
Yeah, like 4 for 40 and
Scored
6.
a touchdown?
Yeah. 12.
Yeah.
But that's
maybe
nothing
14.
for him.
But it's fine. It's for your tight end, you're okay with it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do math.
I mean, is it okay? Like Burrow is kind of not playing
Burrow
well, but
hurts.
also
All
hurt,
of them. Their
right?
whole team. Mixon.
Jamar Chase hurts.
Chase.
I got Chase in our league. He put up 8 points for me the other day. Lost me the game. That was rough.
That's tough. That is tough. Can't relate. My boys
Don't
are
be a
good.
jerk.
My boys are great.
I'm trying to think
Oh,
of somebody.
Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was drafted high in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
But that's not his fault.
But you're right. Though. He's
Aaron
not gonna
Rodgers
get.
probably wasn't drafted high. He's usually undrafted towards the end of the
But the
draft, still.
circumstance, that's kind of where I was going with, like the circumstances of
Has
how
Waddle
you
done
thought
anything?
the season would play.
The first game was all Tyreek, and then last week I don't remember it being Waddle.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he was banged up a little bit too, I think.
All I know is everyone's talking about Christian Gonzalez on the Patriots, the cornerback, and the way he locked up Cheetah in that game, and it's pretty impressive.
Well, one thing about Belichick now, he'll get that best receiver and he'll do something to him, whether it's just a guy or whether it's bracket coverage or whatever it wants to be. He'll take that guy away, and they did do a better job against Tyreek Hill. All right, let's get Steven on the line. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Two big topics, I think. What do you got, Steven?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good.
Great, man.
Well, my first thing is, I guess it's more of a statement and a question, but I just want to see what happens because after that game, I mean, you look at Trevor, he seems extremely pissed off, and you see what happened last year after that Broncos game when he looked pissed off. He came to light. And two, part of it is we all hound Doug Pederson and press for passing too much, not enough running the ball. And, I mean, look what happened when they started running the ball more last year at the Raiders game. I mean, we started playing a lot better. So, I mean, I hope all that comes more of a balance thing. And number two, it's about a media guy that Brent is not exactly fond of.
Whoa.
He has several that he's not fond of.
Easy here now. Who are we talking about?
Oh, why would you
local
do
or
that?
national?
I want to see what the besmirchment is.
Oh, boy. All right.
Go
here we
ahead, Steve. Get all your courage up. Brent looks like he's not happy about this.
Well, I'll just say Pro Football Talk. That's it.
All right. Mike
you
Florio
all
catching
pretty
a
much
lot
know
of
who
strays
that
in
is.
I
Jacksonville.
was going to say, there's a
this
bunch of people that I'm not that fond of, so I just didn't know where you were going with
We
it.
were hoping it was going to be spicy. Dang it.
No, Pro Football Talk, we all know who that is. Just this whole post that he put out that, the Jags are going to move because only 6% want to pay and everything like that, which I think is just BS and things like that. So I'll just leave that and the comments I made for the Jags. Hopefully they balance it out a little more.
All right, Steven, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the thoughts.
Man, I thought that was going to be
Yeah, I didn't know where it was going.
something. I thought that was going
because
to be.
Steven in the past has mentioned other people.
I remember I had to get rid of him one time. I was hoping, man.
I was
Could
like,
you
where's he
lock
going
it
with
down,
this?
huh?
And who am I really not that fond of?
Can you
Like,
imagine just
I mean, I'm sure I'm on that list.
Brent, you know who you hate, so-and-so.
I would love to see a
First
top
of all, the
five
Florio
ranking.
stuff, I think we talked about a little bit
People he
yesterday.
hates, I can give it to you.
Yeah.
I know a few.
The Florio stuff it was totally it was just spun a different way and whatever. It's kind of a joke. There's some interesting information in there. It was the way it was presented from Florio and Pro Football Talk that has other people retweeting it and sharing it, and I just thought was goofy. I did ask Trevor today about, they seemed like they were ticked off coming out of that game.
Yeah.
And
we have that
question. Is reminiscent of a couple of games last year. And they did respond well. Steven's right about that. They responded really well coming out of those games. So we'll hear from Trevor on the other side, what he had to say about that. Some crazy things going on with the Chicago Bears organization all in one day. I don't know which one's
Tillman, huh?
What's the lead story there?
It's weird that Casey is stuck at, like, Peter Tillman would be, what you found out about Charles Tillman would be the lowest on the list of
No, this is
crazy
the
things.
peanut. Oh, I can't. This is the tease of all teases, and this is a tough Google. Good luck finding this one. Okay, tell you what, you got to stick around to find out.
Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union, and that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 and a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Avowed today from Bears quarterback Justin Fields that he wants to return to playing like himself, freely and less robotic. That includes thinking less and going out there playing off instincts. His answer to why he's been playing too robotic could be coaching, but he did make it clear he's not blaming his coaches. No problem with Fields' honesty today for Coach Matt Eberflus.
The meeting we had this week was good. It was good. He expresses, what he would like. I express what he's doing well. What he needs to work on, and that's always going to be the case. And it was a good conversation. I just wanted him to speak free. I wanted him to speak free to us. I wanted him to be honest. I wanted him to be forthright with what he's saying. And then, can we work through this together to get him to play free and to have that flow.
A day after Giants coach Brian Daboll hinted that Saquon Barkley might play tomorrow night, the star running back has been ruled out against the 49ers due to that ankle injury. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young held out of today's walkthrough with an ankle injury. No word yet if he might miss Sunday's game against Seattle. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson and center Ryan Kelly, both in concussion protocol, did not practice today.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Casey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, 4 o'clock hour we go. Dr. Steve Crenshaw from JOI is going to join us in just a couple of moments. We talk about Nick Chubb's knee injury. Also had a question about the hip when it comes to athletics, especially football. We'll get to that in just a moment. But to finish conversation we were having right before the break, we had mentioned Trevor Lawrence talked about the bounce back game. And I just looked up two specific instances where I thought he was ticked off, man. The team was, but he really was. It was noticeable that they missed an opportunity. The Houston game, the Denver game. There's actually three if you want to go to this. Houston game last year here in Jacksonville. He comes back with Indianapolis 20 of 22 with a touchdown. I mean, he didn't throw for a bunch of yards, didn't play poorly. Then there's the Denver game in London. They come back and beat the Las Vegas on the heels of London, 25 of 31 for 235 and a touchdown. The other one I thought of was Detroit, 40-14 loss. The next week, that was Tennessee, 30 of 42 for 368 and 3 touchdowns.
Big game.
So that's a good sign. Like his numbers look good on bounce back games where he looks pissed. Here's Trevor Lawrence talking about it today.
Cut.
Oh, cut.
We'll pick this
Me
one.
and Josh were talking about earlier in the week.
Not that
He's only, myself too, but he's been here longer. Josh Allen, he's only beat him once in his career. So
how about cut 5?
We know that too, and sticks with you for. All the way till today. I mean, today you gotta turn the page and you gotta move on. And of course, preparation-wise, I've already done that. Monday after we watch the tape, you move on to your preparation for the next opponent, but that still bothers you, and you wanna bounce back. You wanna have a great day at practice today. You wanna kind of get that feeling out of your system. Obviously, when you don't execute and you don't play well, but just about channeling that in the right direction to putting together a great plan and preparing for this game, because that game's over. Can't go back and change it. We're 1-1. That's where we're at. And we got to be able to move on and figure out how can we get better.
That's Trevor Lawrence talking about moving on, but also kind of keeping that in the back of your mind, maybe a little fuel for this week in practice and then against the Houston Texans. Let's take a look at some of the injuries around the National Football League, and we're going to visit with Dr. Stephen Crenshaw from JOI.
This week's injury update is brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. JOI is the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dr. Crenshaw, thanks for joining us from JOI, specializes in hips and knees. And while we've got ourselves a big knee injury in the NFL this week, obviously the Nick Chubb injury from Monday, it seemingly is about as devastating as it comes, Doctor.
Absolutely, not the thing you want to see, both as a spectator and as a team, seeing that kind of injury.
This is a guy that had an injury back in 2015 to the same knee, and it was really one of those that's like everything, ACL, MCL, I think PCL, all the medical terms. Does it put the knee at risk for suffering it again, or 8 years later, is this potentially just a circumstantial thing?
Well, I think based on his history, it's fairly circumstantial. He's played for several years, numerous years after he had his multi-ligament reconstruction. and came back from what some people would have projected as not being able to return. So I think that speaks for itself. This injury was, more of just an unusual mechanism, and just the right set of circumstances creating a bad injury. So I don't think the previous surgery is relevant to the injury as much as it is to the treatment, because right now you get into a situation where the previous treatment now affects the present options, whether it's where you get grafts from or where you place these things to try to reconstruct this knee, at least to get him back to at least some level of activity, and whether or not he can come back to the same level of performance he did before and wants to in the future is really uncertain.
I understand that you wouldn't know like all the specifics of this particular case, but just generally speaking, when you have these significant injuries to the knee, which several of them can be significant, we can deem the levels of significance. But this one obviously looked just awful. Is there a time when like is it a week later, a month later, 6 months later that he would be able to get back on the field?
Well, I think so much of that is depending on the circumstances of how he's treated and what he actually has. Obviously, the injury was consistent with multi-ligament and essentially a type of knee dislocation, and they'll prioritize that. I mean, the first thing they do is make sure he doesn't have any neurovascular injury, and once they've cleared through that, then typically you allow these a period of cool down, and then you get an assessment based on imaging and kind of trying to figure out, strategizing what to do in what order, whether you do things all at once or whether you do them in a stage fashion. Really depends upon the circumstances, the surgeon, and the players.
Dr. Steve Crenshaw from Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute here on ESPN 690. Brent Friends. Dr. Crenshaw is a Jacksonville native, graduate of Emory University, and the team physician for the Jags and Jacksonville University as well. So he's been around this stuff quite a bit. I was thinking of it from a I don't know, like a wear and tear standpoint or a flexibility standpoint. How much can the knee take? Because obviously these are running backs, and this is a sport that's violent and takes a lot of hits to begin with. Is it one of those parts of the body that can actually take a pretty good beating, but sometimes it takes too much?
Well, I think you just described the natural history of a NFL football player. I mean, especially the running backs and some of the other positions where they're taking hits and having to put a lot of stress on that knee. Most of them have a fairly short career because of that relative to some of the other positions. And, most of these players do retire with some level of arthritic disease, which is the end product of all these injuries. And this type of injury would be no different. I think many lesser injuries still have the same end point, which is they become arthritic and end up having to give up their career in part because they can't achieve the level of performance they did before. And some of it, they just, it's a pain and tolerance issue. So, it's different for everybody. And there's some classic examples of people who've made it back after surgeries and bad injuries. But, the list is short of people who've come back from this type of multi-ligament injury.
You specialize in hip replacement as well. And it got me thinking during the break, actually, when we were going to have you on, I said to Casey, it doesn't seem like that's a common thing in football, maybe even some other sports anymore from a hip standpoint that we see in the headlines. And it got me thinking back to like Bo Jackson, right? I mean, his career ends because of, I believe, a degenerative hip. That Casey brought up, Tua obviously had a significant hip injury at Alabama. But do we see it more frequently than I'm noting in sports in general? Or is it usually something when you get a little bit older, or you might have to deal with older when you played sports earlier?
Well, hip injuries occur. Probably the most common hip injury in the active athlete are soft tissue injuries, whether it's high hamstring or adductors or core injuries, as we would call them around the sports hernia world. But, the actual articular injuries which occur, and they do. I mean, there have been some cases of people who have had hip dislocations and hip fractures that require treatment. And those are all occurrences that can damage the joint, and over time that joint becomes arthritic, much like the knee. I would agree that the hip is less common of an injury and less common of a problem to deal with in their active playing years. It's probably one of the more common things they deal with as the years go on. And many of them do go on and need to have their hips replaced because the wear and tear that occurred over their professional career.
Dr. Steve Crenshaw with us from JOI. Just a last question for me. How many of the injuries that these guys suffer, especially on the football field, these guys are tough dudes, are pain tolerance type things where, you'll hear it all the time where people will say, or the coaches will say, hey, everybody's playing with something, right? Everybody's playing with something, and yet they still play. So I got to believe that's a fine line between if it's not structural or you can't damage it even more, or if it's a sprain or whatever it might be. Pain tolerance really comes into play for these guys, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's probably some of the times the biggest deterrent to treating these players or protecting them is they're very dedicated and committed to getting back on the field, and they've lived with pain as most of us know throughout their career before their professional career is just dealing with hard workouts and even minor injuries, but the pain is there. So there aren't many players that are out there that are not pain tolerant, and the level of pain tolerance really defines, when they go back to play and how well they do.
You can see Dr. Stephen Crenshaw in the San Marco offices. Hopefully you don't have to see him for anything significant, but if you have to, go look him up, Dr. Stephen Crenshaw from Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Doc, appreciate you joining us for a few minutes. Have a great day.
All right, thanks, Brent. Have a good one.
Each and every week, we'll spend some time with docs, check out some of the injuries around the National Football League and get a little insight. And specifically, we were talking earlier, like Josh Allen, right? The shoulder sprain, indications are he will play, so there's another pain tolerance. So The bottom line, you're never going to say these guys aren't tough. I mean, everybody will say that. Everybody knows that, and everybody's got different pain tolerance to certain things. But what these guys do play through week to week, as the season goes along especially, I mean, is really pretty incredible. Brent Martineau along with Casey Kurtz, Aaron Schachter. Go back to what we started this segment with, just a quick thought. Those are pretty good numbers by Trevor on these bounce-back games. I mean, don't you guys see it this way? Don't you see it as in the category of the Houston, the Denver, the Detroit game? This one feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, and you would expect it from him if you expect him to be a franchise cornerstone, if you expect him to eventually be an elite quarterback, if not pretty much there already. You can't go in the tank after those games, and if you've got a guy who does that, then maybe you're not looking in the right spot. Clearly, that's not Trevor.
Casey, it's a big deal, though, because that means you don't snowball things if you can bounce out of it. And inconsistency is not good. You don't want to do it every other week. But you also don't want it going in the wrong direction on multiple weeks. And this is something, I think this was one of Blake Bortles' issues, really. Obviously a turnover issue, how good of a quarterback he thought he was, all those things. But it felt like at times he would lose his confidence for a bit and kind of get into that tank where it's like, oh, no, it's not going well. When can you get him out of it? What play will break you out of it? Doesn't appear like Trevor's that, Casey, even though this guy has not had a lot of experience with a lack of success.
Yeah, but I think they're different. This is different than those scenarios because – I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, we're not sitting here saying he was bad against the Kansas City Chiefs. They couldn't protect him. They couldn't do anything. They had no – sure, they made some bad calls on first and goal from the one, and the rest of that drive was bad. But I don't think we were sitting here saying Trevor was awful on Sunday. And when you talk about the game against Denver, he was flat out awful. It was really bad. And we were questioning what the heck happened here a year and a half in because none of it had looked any good. And then the Detroit game was obviously gross and disgusting for a lot of reasons. But I think those two moments are different than this one because I think they just protect him for a little bit. Some of those drops don't happen. His numbers look a lot better, and we're not even worried about it.
Well, I hear what you're saying. So you're saying he played really bad in those couple of games, and everybody played bad in the Detroit game.
But against Denver, yes, it was the epitome of all the bad that had happened because that was awful. They should have won.
What I'm thinking more is his like the look on his face, the sound after a post game. If you watch some of the shots on the sideline, he might not have played as poorly as some of those games. I thought this loss hit him similarly to those losses where he was frustrated and not. Hey, I think this guy understands that you're not going to win every game in the NFL. But that one he should have won, and they should have won. And he's not going to put up with that type of stuff. Again, reminiscent of Detroit. I think Detroit's one of the most underrated things in the young career of Trevor Lawrence. It wasn't that they got whacked against the Lions. It wasn't that he almost got hurt against the Lions. Go back and listen to the post game against the after that Detroit Lions game, and he, without calling his team out, calls his team out. It's like, we are not going to play like this.
The best kind.
You know? Yeah. But he uses words like that on Sunday. This was embarrassing, right? Disappointing, those kind of things. It was pretty firm. That's firm for Trevor. And so I kind of feel like this is in the same group. We'll see. We'll see if he bounces back.
He's been very upfront about what he thinks the level of play has been with the offense and how it needs to be better, how he needs to be better, even though, Case, as you said, it wasn't on him that they lost against the Chiefs. I'm sure he feels like it kind of was, that he could have done more.
Sure.
And maybe that's just a hallmark of being that guy.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Right. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, at some point, do you have to allocate it where it belongs, or can you always go, hey, man, it's on me? There's always something I can do more. I'm not sure if it's better or not.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And then I also think, like, he can't sit up there and say my offensive line couldn't block a JV team today, because then you get can't. That's not going to work. But that was the truth of the matter. That's what it was.
Justin Fields essentially, put the blame on somebody else. Zach Wilson's did it, but we see how that turns out.
And it hasn't worked, right? And Trevor's not going to, he's never going to be that guy. He's not that guy. I would be unbelievably stunned if anything even close to that ever happened.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Call himself out.
Thank you guys for doing some talking while I could
sure, man.
do some math.
Here.
If you paid Elon for that account, he'd give you an edit button.
So here, I just did the math.
We're just here to fill space.
75 for 95.
75 for 95 in those.
Do the percentages on that. 3-game sample here.
I'm not going.
75 for 95, 768 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks.
Okay.
Expect a good game on Sunday.
That's 79% completion percentage.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Who'd they play in those games?
They played Indy.
Okay.
They actually lost the game against Indy, but that was the game.
I'm just asking.
He went 20 of 22 in that game against Indianapolis, and they lost. That was the game that Shaq gave up. They couldn't stop anything on defense.
And while he's looking, the only reason I don't think it matters is because you're already playing one of the worst teams in the league. Who does it matter who you played last year?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
Las Vegas. It was the Vegas win, where it was 25 of 31 for 235. And then again, the Tennessee game, which really turned coming back from Detroit, they were down 14-0. They were going in again. Quarterman makes the big fumble, forced fumble on Derrick Henry, and then they flip that game, and he goes off. 30 for 42, 368, 3 touchdowns. Arguably his best game of his career in the NFL, coming off that disappointment of the Detroit game. When he said what he said, in that post-game presser, he went out and performed. So, that's it.
Stats on the offensive line from those games.
I can look up the PFF.
Well, if you're 75 for 95, I can tell you this: they probably did pretty well. I guess I could give you that. How many times did he get sacked? Tennessee, he got sacked 0. Vegas, he got sacked 0. Indianapolis, he got sacked actually 4 times in that game.
And they lost.
It was 20 of 22 in that game in a 27-point effort. He only threw it 22 times. That's kind of weird.
That was they had big runs in that game.
Must have. Yeah, I didn't even look at some of the rushing stats. 6 for 23. He was 6 for 53 against Vegas. So he really had 290 total yards. And Tennessee, and one more thing to back up the Tennessee game. That was the game where he points to the scoreboard and gets in the face of So
made that dude cry.
This isn't a bad thing.
Case, the Tennessee game, pass block 83.3, run block, 60.4.
I'm going to
60.
That's pretty good. You went back, found that.
60.4.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I predict a big game for Trevor Lawrence based on what he's been able to do off when he's pissed.
Like 300-plus yards, 2 or more touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't throw for 300 yards in games a ton.
It doesn't happen often.
But, I mean, if it's 280, 290, it's the same point, right?
Sure.
So it's like 2 touchdowns and hopefully not a mistake. He hasn't thrown a touchdown against Houston since the first game of his career. He threw for 3. Hasn't thrown a Houston touchdown.
I'd feel bad about it with you, but we all know how that's going to end.
It's really bizarre, man. Like the Houston stuff, I started the show off with it. I don't get it. It's crazy.
And by the way, the pass block grade against Houston last year were 2 of the best grades they had all season.
Nice.
Again, totally different animal now.
Different front right now.
D'Amico Ryans.
I would feel bad about it that this will not be one of their better pass block grades of the season.
Well, that's because you think they stink.
Oh, so they're
Brent, is that more because of Houston or because of them?
It's because I know they stink.
Oh, okay.
But also, I think Houston's good.
Yeah, they're going up against a tough front.
So I think it will not be great.
I really think this is the only part of Houston that's good.
Their front, good defensive backs.
I think their defense is good, or on the way to being good. I like the quarterback.
Tank Dell is showing it up.
I like the receivers.
You like the receivers?
I mean, Nico Collins is playing above his head. Tank Dell playing above his head, but these are not reliable ones like
John Mechie. Like him.
Not really doing much.
I get it. He just had cancer. Let's give him a minute.
You were the one who was saying he's wide receiver 1 on this team.
He will be. Just give him a second.
Dameon Pierce a little disappointing early on.
That's been the disappointment.
Well, let's see how you feel about Justin Fields when we come back. Let's take a break, Brent and Friends. Justin Fields taking an extra media session today to take some words back.
Apologize.
Also,
Peanut Tillman?
Peanut Tillman.
Holy
we'll pay that off.
cow.
Oh, you're going to deliver.
You guys are going to want to hear this.
That was
I know
a
we
deep
said
tease.
that.
Sorry, deep tease.
We're going to get to it. I promise.
ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny skies, breezy at the coast. A few isolated showers coming in off the Atlantic. Temperatures reach the mid-80s today, upper 80s well inland. Some showers develop overnight, especially at the coast. Overnight, we drop down to the low 70s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Welcome back for the fall semester at UNF. The Ospreys swoop into the fall with a busy schedule. Soccer, cross-country, volleyball, and swimming. The ASUN just announced swimming and diving as a sponsored sport now. They will compete in ASUN play. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. Men's and women's basketball schedules are out as well, so you can get your season tickets for the basketball schedule right now. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFospreys.com. And swoop with the Ospreys all season.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Hundreds of thousands of knee replacements and hip replacements are performed each year in the United States, and those numbers are on the rise. But some of these surgeries are preventable. Exercise and health lifestyles have a direct effect on muscle strength, joint flexibility, and bone density. Maintaining a healthy body weight can lessen the effects of osteoarthritis and prevent injuries. Hip pain is a common problem and can cause discomfort and difficulty in walking, sitting, and daily life like working and playing sports. If you are experiencing hip pain, the hip orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treatment of your hip pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Mortno from Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 and a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Many of us enjoy being DIYers. Do you really need a financial advisor for retirement? Or can you just do that yourself too?
I wondered about that.
Well, it depends. Have the Talon Wealth team create a comprehensive financial plan personalized for you at no cost. Then you can compare what you're doing to what's possible with a team of fiduciaries on your side.
Okay.
Schedule now at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found a great Prosecco for under $8, your favorite Cabernet, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
Hi, that's me. What can I help with? Oh, thanks for recommending that amazing French rosé. And I can't believe it was under $7.
I know, right? You can't beat that price.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Let's grab some more. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. Now, what is going on in Chicago? By the way, be careful on some of those tweets you read, because apparently, the story is Hallis Hall didn't get raided.
Oh, okay.
And police aren't involved.
Police or the FBI? Is
Yeah.
all this fake?
Well, there was a lot of stuff floating around.
Let me get a reputable source here. Let me get off Twitter.
I'll just give you two tweets, okay?
Could you imagine if the main part of this is fake?
ML Football said in a report, Bears icon Charles Peanut Tillman, who's currently an FBI agent.
Wow!
Whoa!
Can you believe it? Peanut Tillman, an FBI agent? Holy cow, what a story, bro.
Now, one of the tweets I read that said he went to Quantico and trained as soon as he retired. He went to business at the FBI. I wonder if that's real.
Way.
Says he informed Chicago's upper management, including Eberflus and Poles and everybody else, that defensive coordinator Alan Williams' house being raided. This was per some guy. And it talks about like
John Z Sports.
Eberflus cried as he struggled to comprehend what had happened. So that was one tweet, but then some of the National Reporter tweets are different than that.
Well, the AP is only saying that Williams is away from the team. Eberflus has not up to this point said if he still has a job, although now they're saying
he's resigned.
A Bears statement is coming because he's resigned. And then that's basically it at this point.
So Diana Rossini says the league is not involved in the Alan Williams situation.
I don't doubt it.
Well, if there was police activity or FBI activity, you'd think they'd be involved.
I wouldn't, actually. Why would you think that?
I'm told it was his decision to resign. This has reportedly been categorized as a personal situation, was handled internally by the Chicago Bears. Totally different than like the reported ones coming out in the last like half hour.
As far as confirmed information, yes. But it still leaves the window open for that report to be true.
Yeah, I don't know.
We know it's not.
I'd be careful about jumping to stuff.
Sure, of course. And you could ruin somebody's life with some of that stuff.
And here's another one. Statement this is Adam Schefter, Alan Williams, who's the defensive coordinator, by the way, of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, we had talked actually before this came out that Eberflus was handling defensive calls this past weekend, and no one knew why.
He says, this is his quote now, I am taking a step back to take care of my health and family. I appreciate the opportunity to work with Chicago, storied NFL franchise with a rich history, and then gives a shout out to the McCaskey family and everything else. So who knows? But like, that's interesting. If it was something to the level of FBI police, like I would think the NFL would somehow be involved.
At all. I think that's an opportunity for them to say, well, they're figuring that out.
Yeah, maybe they would get involved later.
Yeah, especially if it's an ongoing
because
investigation.
what happens if the police go anything like just happened here with Clay Brooks, right? He goes on the commissioner exempt list.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that happens to coaches.
But that was like weeks later.
Yeah, but that was weeks later. Fair enough. So interesting. I mean, whatever. There's just a lot of stuff floating around, which can be dangerous. But we'll see. I mean, it'll come out sooner or later.
Sure.
We'll know which is what. The bottom line is they lost their defensive coordinator at this time. So it is significant, whether it's illegal or it's something significantly personal that's impacting his decision. I mean, nobody usually does this 3 weeks into the season.
No, you're right.
So significant news out of Chicago, and that's not the only bit of significant news.
Peanut Tillman,
very interesting part of that
FBI
equation.
agent.
Why is it so shocking to you?
He was an NFL player not long ago,
No,
and
that's
now
cool.
he's in the FBI.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't think he might
That
be
doesn't
one of
Rare, but like I heard it and I was like, all right, a professional athlete decides to go be a field agent. I can get with that. Usually, sometimes it's military guys or whatever, like around, it's just specimens.
I wonder how many have played in the NFL. He's got to be a unicorn here.
Maybe.
Do you think?
I think unicorn's maybe not the right word for it, though.
Do you think if there's like an altercation between him and somebody, and he gives him the peanut punch, like he brings it to the FBI? No. Like if he punches like a criminal, he's like, "That's the peanut punch."
You watch too much TV.
Nothing. You don't. Okay, hold on, hold on. You don't think FBI agents ever punch people?
I certainly don't think they yell, "That's the peanut punch" when they do it.
Well, of course nobody else would because they don't have a peanut punch. He has the peanut punch. So you don't think FBI agents punch people?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
If you're an FBI agent, call in.
We have an
Have you
office in
punched
town.
anybody? Yes, we
I
do.
know we do.
It was the office that broke open the whole McDonald's
I
monopoly
know. I
issue.
watched the whole 85-part series on Hulu.
Which is weird because you haven't watched The Godfather and you haven't watched Goodfellas.
Yeah,
Godfather fake, Goodfellas fake, FBI Jacksonville breaking open the McDonald's thing real.
All right, Danbury Thrasher's doc is real.
Doesn't interest me.
I still haven't seen it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll download that for a London
do.
trip.
It'll change your whole life.
Do all the parts of the McDonald's one. It'll take the whole flight. Holy cow, that thing.
I think I've seen some of the episodes of that.
And you gave
but
up.
It's pretty good.
I gave up on
Because
it.
you're weak.
It's pretty good.
Is Justin Fields' career in trouble?
I think so.
Probably.
I think so. I saw a tweet today, and you may want to fact check me on this now that I'm getting.
You're having second.
But it looked like, from the looks of the statistics that I have not confirmed, Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky along a similar path.
Did you see the stat today that Patrick Mahomes is going against? He's the highest winning percentage quarterback
league
going against the
currently
lowest.
in
It's the first
Justin
time
Fields.
it's ever happened.
Yeah, it's like
18% win
yeah.
percentage.
Yeah.
So listen, I was a believer in Fields. The story today is he actually blamed coaching.
That was the quote
in his news conference.
It could be the coaching.
And then he circled back in the locker room, brought the media together as like, I'm not blaming coaching.
No.
But he did.
That's not what he said. He said the media likes to take these comments and run with them. And it's like, hey,
of course
bro,
we do.
maybe you don't blame it on the coaches and then the media won't run with it.
I don't think this is the first time he said something like that or a little that you could interpret led back to coaching since he's been on Chicago. Might have been the old regime before they hired Eberflus. The bottom line is, who knows if Eberflus is going to work there? They've got their DC now leaving. Their offense always stinks anyway. They put this kid in a tough spot to start with. Two different regimes.
Ryan Poles spent a lot of money to try and fix these problems.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's working. And it's super early, at least in this season.
They do have draft
it's not
picks.
early in his career.
Not at all.
So, again, there were times last year. I mean, the MVP odds, I think, on Justin Fields were higher than Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
They were. This is correct. What a disaster.
Yeah, and it doesn't look good. There are just some plays that are sometimes there are just some plays you're like, oh, that's a red flag.
Yep.
Right? Zach Wilson has had many of those now.
Many of those.
And it's not,
you don't have to keep mentioning them, guys.
Well, no,
we get it.
But it's different than just, hey, I'm playing poorly or protection or this. It's like, no. That play doesn't happen in high school, JV, middle school, college. That's like I'm lost kind of play. And Fields had a play or two like that this past week. So you really do start to question some of that situation. Like I said, do I think Justin Fields could be a good quarterback in the NFL? I believe so. I'm not sure he's in the best situation to make that happen. And there might be too much scar tissue by the time this thing's over to even make it happen. I don't know. I think he might be one of those guys. He might be like you Sam Darnold's of the world where he just was in an awful spot and you can't fix it, you can't correct it.
Jets.
It might be the Baker Mayfield stuff who's
I would
finally
die for Baker Mayfield come back to the Jets.
Mayfield's best moments.
Oh, I wish he was though.
Mayfield had some good moments in Cleveland.
Yeah, he did.
But
took him to the playoffs.
His better moments have all come within the last 8 games he's played for 2 different teams.
Who, Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the Rams.
That big winning with the Rams and then
now these last couple of games.
They went to the whole playoffs with Cleveland.
I know. I'm saying since he had some moments in Cleveland, but it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't consistent. But now you're wondering if he's landed in an okay spot and he's got Tampa 2-0 and maybe finds it. But I don't know, man. Justin Fields, I think I'm going to be wrong on it. It's not going to work out. And we go back to that 2021 class, and that 2021 class is yikes. So they got major problems.
So I believe Chicago has Carolina's first rounder this year, do they not?
They do.
Yeah, they do. They're going to have like 2 out of the top 5 picks.
So if you're Chicago, are you
2 quarterbacks?
Are you ready to give up on Justin Fields?
If you get the number 1 pick, yeah.
Well, no, but if you're top 5,
yeah, probably. If you get number 2, yeah.
That's wild. Because not only have we entered this age where rookie quarterbacks start day -2, there's no more sitting and learning. But now you're being jettisoned earlier than ever as well.
Then don't
Trey Lance.
Then don't officially give up on him.
And
Draft
Zach Wilson.
one and start Justin Fields and let the other guy sit.
That's really what they should do, no matter what. I mean, if he's not the guy, he's going into his 3rd or 4th year next year.
4.
You got 5 if you want him.
True.
Let's go. Let's spend a little more time on this 2021 class. Is there hope for any of them outside of Trevor?
Yes.
Mac Jones?
Give me the hope. Give me the hope category, like the hope meter. Who
I
you
think
got?
Mac is
What
first,
order?
is he not?
All right, in order of the way they were picked. Trevor 100, Zach Wilson.
He played
50.
He played better last week.
You're giving him 50 on the hope meter.
That
seems high.
It's going to be good for the rest.
I don't
of
think
the
that's
way.
high. I'm with the 50 as of
How about
today.
that?
I'm with the 50 as of you can't bet about it because there's no metric to tell you.
I'm
the
just saying,
probability.
how about it? We're right.
Yeah.
We're ganging up on Brent. I love it.
I'm with you. Yeah. You don't know that he's terrible again yet. He played the best defense in the league.
Trey Lance, 0.
There's
hope.
no hope whatsoever.
2 people have to get hurt before he gets in the game. Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott. There's no hope.
But Dak's in his final year.
Yeah, that's this year.
There's what Mark McCarthy, there's no person that's going for this. If Jerry Jones is like, hey, we're going to start Trey Lance next year, Mike McCarthy better quit.
I don't think it's plan. I don't think it's plan A. I'm just saying I wouldn't put it at 0.
2%.
Okay. Who's next?
Who is next? Mac?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I don't know. Before the season,
25%.
Before the season, I would have told you like 80.
I know. I felt good about him.
But now, like, he's 25 is low. 25 is low.
They're not running design runs for him, so that could change the way you look at a guy like that. If you saw Lamar with no design runs his first 3 or 4 years, it'd probably look a lot different.
I will also go 50%.
All right.
Mac.
And what is this a percentage to be, just to work out what?
It's just kind of like the hope. I mean, like they're going to work out. No, I don't care if they're in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, I mean, right now they all look like they're going to be out of the, they're going to be backups at best.
I think Mac has a career as a starter.
I'll give Mac 60%.
Yeah.
The problem is
he can play.
He can, but he can't move. So how long will that work? He has to be in a certain type of
and
offense.
crazy enough to sound, guys, it looked like he was in the best situation possible when he got drafted.
10-7.
With the Patriots organization. And they've kind of screwed it up.
Well, they certainly did last year. I think they've kind of put it back on the track this year.
Listen, they scored 17 points this past week against Miami. 14 came in the 4th quarter. They weren't doing much for the first 3 quarters.
He doesn't have resources to throw to this year, but I think they did the right thing with Bill O'Brien. And, they have to build that back up for him.
Yeah, listen, I think Mac can play. Here's the deal. Right now, Trevor's the only one getting a deal.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like a real deal. These other guys might end up getting like 2-year deals for $10 million or something. Or, Mac, if he does play enough to keep that job, he's not getting a big deal.
No, he'll get like a 30 to 35, 40, depending on how he does.
I would say right now, nobody else is getting a contract except Mac and Trevor. The
Was
Jets
there a
aren't
second rounder that got picked?
Davis Mills.
Mac is going to be pretty interesting.
He ain't getting no contract.
When it comes to, like, if you were in New England, Mac will be very interesting after, let's just say, next year, and it stays on this kind of path where it's like, it's not awful, but it's not great.
That's Jimmy G-esque. That's who he could be. He could
but everybody wants to be more than that. Like, even San Francisco wanted to be more than that to go get Trey
Super Bowl
Lance.
with San Francisco. Like, Mac won't lose you the game.
But they got to get him people.
You got to get him a receiver.
You can't make a decision, in my opinion, on Mac if you keep running out there the same random collection of dudes every year.
No, to Belichick's credit, he did try to get DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham Jr. He targeted some wide receivers, just didn't work out for the Patriots this season.
Okay, then how about maybe someone between mid-round rookie and at the end of their career?
Yeah.
There's like a whole rest of players you could find. Belichick's like, nah, we're going to ride with Nelson Aguilar.
And Juju Smith-Schuster.
Right.
Like I said, they've kind of messed him. It's hard to tell Mac and how good he is because of what they've put around him the last couple of years. It's pretty tricky. And that's what my point was. Like, he looked like he had landed in the best spot. Here go the Patriots again. They got actually a 15th overall pick, and they got Mac Jones, who many were rumored to be the 3rd overall pick. And honestly, it would have been better for both parties if Mac Jones ended up in San Francisco.
He would have been great there. He's like a less athletic. He's less athletic Brock Purdy, but yeah.
Pretty wild. I thought that class. I thought they were all going to be good. I didn't think they were all going to be in the Hall of Fame, but I thought they were all going to be good.
Yeah.
And
starters for years.
Really starting to question if anybody but Trevor is actually good.
And by the way, Trevor almost wasn't good because he had some guy standing in front of him in Urban Meyer.
Yeah, we know. We were here.
Just in case you forgot.
We saw it.
Well, they'll do the same thing about this draft class now, too, with 3 of them instead. Obviously, with 3 guys taken in the top 5, and we get to see one of them coming to town this week, and C.J. Stroud for the Houston Texans. Let's take a break. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Hey, we're going to give away a spot in the fantasy card breaks, Davoli's House of Cards. Who wants to join us? Live. Get to pick your team. 904-362-9901. You're going to have to hang on the line through the break. But 904-362-9901. Get in the game for free. Next on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet. Now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Oasis Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling prickly pear lime. Celsius Essential Energy drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Oasis Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
2 roads diverged into a steamy, hot northeast Florida summer. One road led to a home AC system that's unreliable and inefficient. It was fated to fail swiftly. The other road led to a home that's efficiently and dependably cool. Its AC was a mechanical marvel, destined to be a lasting refuge against summer's scorching siege.
Time to take the road most traveled by your neighbors for over 60 years, Hammond Air Conditioning. Hammond is North Florida's most trusted authority for air conditioning services. And with Hammond, your home is never a learning opportunity for inexperienced techs. Hammond's veteran specialists understand how to make a system operate perfectly in our Northeast Florida heat. And they know how to extract all the potential from a modern high-efficiency system. That means they'll design a system perfect for you, one that fits to the temperature you want and will save you money on your electric bills. Right now, get a brand new high-efficiency system for as low as $70 per month, and that's with a 10-year warranty. Go to hammondair.com.
Experience wins when buying or selling your home. Changing markets and rates make for challenging times these days. Bass Professional Realty can guide you through those times and open the door to a new home or lock the door on your old home one final time with a good experience thanks to their experience. Bass Professional Realty has been serving Northeast Florida this entire century. Last year, Nancy Bass and Bass Professional Realty were voted a top real estate firm in Jacksonville. Have a good home selling or buying experience with the experienced team of Bass Professional Realty.
Ronald McDonald House Charities of Jacksonville is celebrating 35 years of supporting the health and well-being of critically ill children and their families who need to be near a hospital. To learn more, visit rmhcjacksonville.org.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship and is now accessible through Tax Help USA. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. For this free information, call 800-251-1413. 800-251-1413. That's 800-251-1413.
Welcome back for the fall semester at UNF. The Ospreys swoop into the fall with a busy schedule. Soccer, cross country, volleyball, and swimming. The ASUN just announced swimming and diving as a sponsored sport now. They will compete in ASUN play. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. Men's and women's basketball schedules are out as well, so you can get your season tickets for the basketball schedule right now. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFospreys.com. And swoop with the Ospreys all season.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Okay. Next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
All right, if you want to take our team for the fantasy card breaks, Davoli's House of Cards, we're going to do it right now. 904-362-9901. You get a free entry. And you get my team that I'm about to do live on air.
You've had some pretty good teams you picked.
I mean, if you want potentially free money.
Well, I wouldn't put it there. You haven't won money, have you?
Yeah.
I guess you did.
I did. I was in the money week one.
And you didn't give any of that to Casey?
No.
Oh, wow.
Shocker.
Numbers. But I am giving it to the listeners right now.
Case, how's that kettle corn today?
Great call, Aaron.
Listen, what do you want? He said, what do you want? Like overnight
I feel like he's been
delivery?
pretty specific about it.
Well, you said it'd be here tomorrow, is what you said.
I did not say that. Because now, listen.
He absolutely said that. Do I have to go pull it?
On the lie meter
Go
here,
back to when he
this goes to the Fabet about it stuff.
No.
Starting to add up.
He's really questioning your
Go
morals
back to
here,
the
Case.
text. Go back to the text. Tell me what time it was. I will go pull that tomorrow.
Brent is, in fact, stating, not only are you a liar, but your pants might be on fire.
I've been watching a lot of Suits now. I know how this law stuff works. And I'll dig holes and poke holes into your testimony.
Yeah,
Then
but you need a
poke
blue
holes
folder.
all you want. What's the timestamp, Brent? Stop delaying.
You got to hand Casey
I got
the
to do
blue
my
folder.
numbers first, and then I'll tell you.
He's a liar. That's why.
Is he doing Lotto right now? I saw that the Lotto's up. I was
Lotto,
like, oh,
that's
there's a
right.
Martineau
Lotto
game
is
right
high.
now.
All right, numbers.
3, 7, 11, 15, 22.
Slow down.
Set.
3, 7, 11.
22, right?
Yeah, 15, 22.
Yep.
25.
Yep.
28. And always Larry Bird, 33.
Man, I was watching Larry Bird in The Winning Time. Have you watched this on Max?
No.
Are you a Max subscriber?
No.
You're going to get with me
Good
for the
Larry Bird
password,
stuff?
man. It's the Showtime Lakers. But, the rivalry between Bird and Magic was like
all right, here we go.
super focused on in season
Great
2.
stuff.
It's great.
Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex, super flex, first team. Brent is the Texans. Yikes.
Ooh, I got to say, can I help you or no?
Sure, I don't.
All right. Nico's been doing pretty good.
He has.
Underrated.
He's
Will
gonna,
Dameon Pierce pop a little bit here?
He won't. I've had him 2 weeks in a row. He won't. The Jags stopped the run. Tyson can't. There's.
All right, let's go Nico because he's really their only receiver.
Yeah, you don't want to take Dameon Pierce.
Big garbage time when the Jags were up 30-10.
That's a good point.
Steelers.
Ooh, George Karl?
Yeah.
Certainly not Najee.
Let's go Pickens.
Could have gone Freiermuth.
Bengals.
Who's that back?
How many flexes do I get?
3 and a super.
Do we know if Joe's playing yet?
We don't.
But I would
not
go
looking
Jamar.
good.
Yeah.
Got to go with what's his name?
Or Mixon. Jamar.
We'll go Jamar.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Who is their backup quarterback?
Didn't they just sign one? Was it Henny?
I don't think so.
Last they signed one in the offseason. I'll look it up.
Yeah, it wasn't Henny. He's
Vikings is tough because you've already got how many? Oh, I guess you can go flex. You need Jettas here.
There you go. Huh. I just picked like 14 receivers in a row.
You have one more flex.
Kirk Cousins on pace for 6,000 yards, by the way.
I think
they also have T.J. Hawkinson.
Oh, that's a good one, too, for tight end.
Let's go Hawkinson.
But how do you not go Justin Jefferson in his
I'm going to go
20-point
Hawkinson
games?
here.
All right. Bold move.
Tight ends.
I'll go Derek.
Makes sense.
I don't even remember what I was supposed to look up.
Backup quarterback for the
that's
Bengals.
How tough it is right now. Thank you.
Jaguars.
Oh. Little
Trevor.
Little Trev.
I just told you his bounce back numbers. Trevor's going to have a big day.
Look at this little insight from Martinu.
All right, you got.
Remember last week, though, when I was going between Kelsey and Trevor and Ingram? I actually won that because I think Ingram had better numbers, or maybe it's similar because of the touchdown, than Kelsey.
Flex and super flex left, Brent.
Flex and super flex. So I can go anybody.
Amari here.
Browns.
Yeah. Go Amari. Amari or Jordan Ford.
Who?
What's his name? The backup running
back.
back.
The running back.
Oh, I forgot. Jerome
Ford. Jake Browning, the backup quarterback in Cincy. I thought they just signed a guy this offseason.
Who should we go with? The running back, Ford, or he's going to get a bulk of it, right? Because, I mean, they just signed Kareem Hunt.
Amari Cooper.
Also, by the way, before you forget,
But
they had a
Deshaun
good
Watson's
look.
so average.
They looked at Kareem Hunt when they had Ford, and they were like, no, Kareem, you can kick rocks.
That's fair.
Who do you like, Ford or Amari Cooper?
Who does he have at?
Or you could go Deshaun.
Who does he already have right now?
Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, T.J. Hawkinson, George Karl Pickens, Jamar Chase.
How many running backs do you start? One? And then the rest are flexes?
Yeah, he can have it. Flex and super flex is what he's got left. Anybody he wants on either team. If you want Deshaun, you can have him here.
He's really pushing Deshaun at you. Who are the Browns playing?
No clue.
Let's look that up because that's
Just want you to
important, too.
lose, Brent.
You just want me to lose.
If you want to win, you
would
pick
you even feel comfortable taking Deshaun Watson? Like seeing
because I don't like him?
No, I mean not even there, but yeah, sure. They're playing the Titans, so you know it's a tough defense.
I think they're going to make Deshaun beat him. Let's go with Deshaun.
Really?
It's a mistake.
Deshaun Watson, with your last team being, yikes, the Ravens. You could have had Lamar.
Could have had Lammer. Oh, take Zay.
Zay Flowers.
There you go. That's good.
Trevor Lawrence, Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, yikes, T.J. Hawkinson, George Karl Pickens, Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers.
Where do you go on the Texans?
Deshaun Watson.
By the way, we were on a roll.
FCB.
The first 2 weeks. I just got the Titans, the Texans, the Browns.
So the Browns, top of the crop.
This was not ideal. Plus a struggling Jags offense.
What would you do with that Texans pick, Case?
I've had the Texans 2 straight weeks in FCB. Pick Dameon Pierce both times.
Yeah, that has.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean,
none
he's
of
going
it's
to get
worked.
the ball.
I agree.
Actually, the play to get Collins isn't bad because again, that's where he got his yard. If you're down by 28 points or 20 points, you're going to be throwing it,
and that's who he's going to.
Basically, what you said when you picked Nico Collins was you don't believe Tyson Campbell's good. So that's crazy.
That's not what he said.
No, that's what
he said. He believes the Jags will be up so heavy that they'll be tossing it around the park.
They're going to take Tyson out.
Prevent
Maybe.
defense.
No.
Maybe they keep it all in front of them. They're giving Nico these 10, 15, 20 yarders.
Listen, I hope Tyson shuts him out, and I don't need to win this week.
You could have picked Dalton Schultz.
No thanks.
Tank Dell. C.J. Stroud in the Superflex. You could have done all those things.
Tank Dell. Well, I don't trust C.J. Stroud, but Tank
Could've
Dell might have been an
Xavier
okay
Hutchinson.
pick too.
Xavier Hutchinson. Sure.
He had 1 target last week.
Hey, if it's for 99 and a touchdown, that's not bad.
That would actually be very good.
It'd be great, actually.
Football at 5 coming up next. Some of the big stories around the National Football League. Back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here on a Wednesday, we'll give you an update if you haven't heard on the injury report. What's the latest? Plus, Trevor and Doug Pederson get ready for the Houston Texans, another AFC South matchup. It's next on ESPN 690.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hey guys, it's me, Pete the Job Guy. You know you listen to my show every weekend, but listen, if you need staffing assistance of any kind, you call the good folks at Ascendo Resources. My co-host Angie Langlois and I'm Pete Langlois or Pete the Job Guy. Just reach out to me, Pete at PeteTheJobGuy.com, and I can guarantee you there hasn't been a qualified candidate genocide. We know where they're at, and we can fill your open jobs. Ha ha!
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Peach Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling white peach. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Peach Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in because they are making a profit from you. That's the law. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty because they knew or should have known of the dangerous condition that caused your injury. It happens every day in many ways. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored, falling boxes and items stacked too high, and so many other unexpected occurrences and dangers only known to that business owner. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, let our team investigate and report back to you. The duty to protect customers from harm is the law, and our duty is to protect you after that harm. Visit forthepeople.com for more information, or on your cell phone, dial #law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Plus, right now, buy a DeWalt Power Stack battery kit and get a select DeWalt Bear tool free, up to a $249 value. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29. Subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Lynn Ozawi.
We host the ESPN podcast Laughter Permitted, where we have candid chats with trailblazing women in sports and beyond.
We've talked with goats like Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, Mia Hamm, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Michaela Schifrin, just to name a few.
So grab a donut or 500 and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ally, who has supported us since day one.
It's Laughter Permitted.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams has resigned, citing his health. Head coach Matt Eberflus will call the defense Sunday against the Chiefs. Meantime, Chicago quarterback Justin Fields admitted he felt robotic in the loss to the Buccaneers. Asked why, said it could be coaching, but he did make it clear he's not blaming his coaches. Said his goal is to be free to be himself. Eberflus said he doesn't mind Fields speaking up. Important to make sure that he plays free and they coach him that way. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy will play a role in that, explains Freddie and Harry co-host Harry Douglas.
Utilize him to the best of his abilities. That's your job as an offensive coordinator, as an offensive play caller, is understanding everyone on your offense, how they work, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, and exploit the strengths and never the weaknesses. If Justin Fields, get him on the move, get him outside the pocket. So now he has a run-pass option.
Giants star running back Saquon Barkley out tomorrow against the 49ers with an ankle injury. Panthers QB Bryce Young held out of today's walkthrough with an ankle injury. Baseball, Twins reduced their magic number to clinch the AL Central to 2 with a 5-3 win over the Reds.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available.
Enter the word FUN at ESPN690.com. That's FUN by 15 past the hour.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Casey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, football at 5 we go here on a Wednesday, midweek, Jags Houston week. And then it's off to London. A week from tomorrow, off to London. I already started packing.
Really?
No. Kidding.
I feel like Steph packs for you.
No, she does not.
Come on, be real.
Don't look at us. We're not going.
I can't believe London's already here, though.
Right?
Just crazy. I'm not like, I've said this before, I'm not a time goes fast guy, but I already can see on the other side of London. And then there's like a Thursday night game 10 days later, and then there's Florida, Georgia the 10 days later.
Oh.
I mean, where to be November before you know it with the way this season lays out. I do like going a little bit earlier to London rather than get a little better weather. That's good. But you're also not as deep into football season, so maybe a little fresher.
What's better weather? Is it sunny ever in London? I feel like it's just cloudy every day.
Here's the thing. Like, people say two things about London that I like as matter-of-fact stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure I fully agree with. They say the food stinks over there.
That is the reputation.
And I haven't found that. I've eaten some pretty good food over there. Now, I'm not a super picky food
guy. Are you bragging about your foodie nature or what?
No, I'm not. I'm just not picky, so maybe that helps. And the other thing is the weather. Like, the weather isn't as bad as people have said it could be. No, I mean, you get some rain here or there, or clouds, but it hasn't been like miserable the times I've been there. Now, the last few years I haven't been over there. So We'll see. Like I said, early, we've been one other time this early. That was against the Indianapolis Colts years ago. And, of course, you're getting kind of like a month ahead moved up on the calendar, so the weather should be a little bit better. I just had this thought, guys, and I don't know if I'm interested to see what's going to come of it when I say this. Right. I see Tayshaun Gibson. There's a next-gen stat here. Tayshaun Gibson is playing with the San Francisco 49ers. Did you guys know that?
Good for him.
I did not.
Didn't he go to Chicago?
He did.
After Jacksonville?
That is correct.
Was it right after Jacksonville? Or did he go to Houston first or something?
I think he went.
You went right to Chicago?
Yeah, I think he went straight to Chicago.
Okay.
Houston was Colvin.
Oh yeah, you're right. So, but I think in my mind, I'm like, Tayshaun Gibson's still in the league, and I think he's played really well since he left Jacksonville.
That's what they be saying.
Overall, he has played well.
You know where I'm going.
And I'm looking at this lowest target rate. This is the number. You can get goofy stats, right? Tayshaun Gibson has not been targeted on any of his 97 coverage snaps this season. He's the only player with at least 50 coverage snaps without a target in the NFL. So they're staying away from him. He's a safety.
He's still out there.
But, so I don't know. I'm going to assume when you get a stat like this, he's playing good football, and I think he's been playing good football. So it crossed my mind, is Tayshaun Gibson the best player outside of Jalen Ramsey still from that 2017 team, still playing, or had their best career after 2017 outside of Jalen Ramsey? So I'm going to give you some options.
I don't know, Bray. Jan's still be getting sacks just for a bunch of teams.
Yeah, and that's fine if you want to argue that. That might be the case. A.J. Boye kind of disappeared, right?
Yep.
Calais played well. He just got old. He wasn't as impactful because of his age.
Is Calais playing?
He's in Atlanta. I don't know if
Did he get his sack? He just needed one.
That's a good point. I haven't looked that up.
Please.
Barry Church, long gone. Aaron Colvin.
Hey, why'd you say it like that? I loved Barry Church.
Well, I'm just saying, he hasn't played in years.
Gone for not forgotten.
I don't think. Did he ever play again? Did he play for Dallas? Did he go back to Dallas?
No. That was it.
That was it.
Call it. Love Barry Church.
But maybe you had him at that Aromas event.
No.
Aaron Colvin didn't work. Marcel Darius didn't play much. Sheldon Day had actually a couple good, decent years. I don't know if he's still in the league, but I think he was with San Francisco and Indianapolis, I want to say. Dante Fowler, he's still around.
Yeah, no, though.
But it's not super impactful.
No
There's
sack
Tayshaun
for
Gibson
yet, by the way.
No sack, okay. Miles Jack, no. Malik Jackson went on to play with Cleveland and Philadelphia, but not nearly as impactful. And I don't know. That might be, I don't think that's it, but maybe that looks like it's about it. Oh, DeJuan Smoot actually is on that team. So Smoot might be second to Ramsey.
Calais has had 28 sacks since 2017.
Oh, sorry, Calais.
And Gibson is ranked 14th overall in safety so far this year.
Wow, I did not realize Calais had that many sacks since he's left Jacksonville. I guess it has been 6 years. No.
Since 17 ended. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So in 18, he had 10.5 in Jacksonville. But
Okay.
then 6.5, 4, 1.5, 5.5, and now still playing.
All right, so I'm going to rank them. I'm going to go Jalen, Calais. I think I'm going to give it to DeJuan Smoot. And then Tayshaun Gibson. I did not think Tayshaun Gibson would still be playing in 2023 at a high level. I thought he was a bit underrated on that defense. Remember that year, I think it was Marone who said he should have made the Pro Bowl. Played at the Pro Bowl level.
DeJuan Smoot since 2017, 22.5 sacks.
Yeah, so I mean, he should be on that list. Pretty wild to hear Tayshaun Gibson's name still floating around high-level ball.
Good for the young man.
Because he had played, he had played 4 years already with Cleveland before he came over?
He was drafted in 12.
I do want to let you know, Yannick Ngakoue, since 2017, has 46 sacks.
Does he really?
46, Brent.
That
Didn't
one
even
hurts
have
a
him on
little.
your list.
This stings a little bit.
I forgot about Jan in that. I mean, he would have been on my list, but I just forgot about him. So, yeah. I guess you got a handful of guys that have still done really well.
You're talking 9.5, 8, 8, 10, 9.5, and 1 so far this year.
Who's he playing with? Chicago?
That's what they be saying. Chicago.
That's actually the bigger mystery on Jan. It's who's he playing with?
Chicago.
It's a different team all the time. I knew I saw this tweet and I was like, Tayshaun Gibson's still playing pretty good level. That's Did not expect that. If you asked me that in 2018 when this thing was falling apart, I would have thought he'd be maybe a couple more years, hang on, and then see you later. But he's actually had himself a very nice NFL career.
11 years. You said 12, right?
Yeah. 2012 was a draft year. Where did he go to college?
Gibson? Who were we talking about?
Yeah, Tayshaun Gibson.
He went to Wyoming.
Really? Not a Wyoming guy.
NFL factory out there.
Especially
they got Gibson, they got Allen.
Just a couple of years later than that, they had Marcus Epps, who's ranked right above him, 13th in the league.
Is this real?
Yeah, Wyoming's a safety factory.
Oh. Marcus Epps. It's kind of like Mike Epps.
A little bit, just a little bit different.
You know Mike Epps?
I've seen him live here in Jacksonville.
Get out of here.
Oh, it was a tremendous show.
You didn't go to the Mike Epps show.
Mike Epps. It was Mike Epps, Eddie Griffin, and Martin Lawrence at the arena. It was a great show.
Really?
Yeah.
Brent, do you know any of these people?
No.
Shocker.
Now I'm kind of interested on the offensive side.
It's not a great story to write.
But like A.J. Cann, is he still playing?
I don't believe so.
Keelan Cole's hung on for a while.
Yeah.
Really nice. I mean, I know he's not unbelievable, but I'm just saying from an undrafted free agent guy, he's had a long career.
He was on the active roster with the Jets last year.
Fournette's going to be on top of the offensive list, won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, and he was very important part of what they were doing with Tom Brady there. But now he can't get a job, which is weird.
Or is choosing not to.
Chad Henne, a couple Super Bowl wins. Alan Hearn's career did not shake out, mostly because of injury. Went down to Miami. Ben Koyak, no. Marquise Lee, no. Mercedes Lewis still playing.
Yeah.
This feels like the end credits scene where they tell you the text of what happens at the end of your 30 for 30 on Saxonville.
Yeah, it does. But I tell you what, Mercedes Lewis still playing and Tyler Shatley still playing. I think they're the only. Oh, Cam Robinson, Allen Robinson, but Allen didn't play that year, so he's kind of put off to the side in this context because he got hurt.
So Keelan Cole since 17, 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns.
It's pretty good.
Fournettes are still loading.
Yeah, 2000. I mean, since 17, that's actually not great. It's like,
well, for a guy of his stature, it's not like he was a wide receiver one for anybody.
Okay, I give him credit because he's hanging in the league. You know? I mean, he's
Fournette. You've got 3,400 rushing yards, 25 rushing touchdowns, 6 more receiving touchdowns. Add 2,000 receiving yards and the Super Bowl.
Fournette's on top of the list. Fournette has a better career since he left than when he was here. And I didn't think he was bad when he was here. I thought he was an integral part of it.
He's got as many receiving yards since he left as Keelan Cole.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Josh Lambo actually did have a couple more good seasons.
Leonard Fournette's 28, by the way, if anyone was wondering. 6 years in the league, 28 years
Completely
old.
washed, yeah.
Brandon Linder's retired. Yeah, it's pretty wild that Tyler Shatley and Mercedes Lewis are great stories there.
Yeah.
Because Mercedes in year number 18, I think it is.
Yes.
And Shatley is the longest tenured Jag.
Ever?
No. Like right now.
Like,
on the current roster.
Now I'm wondering about what Mercedes
Shatley's the only
stats be looking
Jag
like.
that's still on the team, isn't he? Oh, no, I just Smoot and Cam. So there's 3 of them. That was good. We got that quick.
Since 2017, Mercedes 57 catches for 582 and 6.
So a good season.
Basically.
With Aaron Rodgers the whole time.
Yeah.
And now,
but again, there's more to him. He's more of a blocking guy.
By the way, in another edition of Where is that former Jag playing, the answer once again is Chicago, apparently.
A lot of the pipeline. Pipeline seems to go to either Chicago or Baltimore. I feel like that's where most former Jags end up.
Which is crazy because one of those things is real good and one of those things not so good.
Yeah. I feel that way. I don't know if that's actually a number, but I feel like most of them go. More Jags end up in those 2 destinations.
Well,
like,
remember
Tony Pashos years ago? He went.
I love Tony Pashos.
Remember Zach Miller? He went to Chicago. I mean, you can name a lot of guys that went to the Bears from Jacksonville.
Wasn't there a Ravens connection with the team, an Ozzie Newsome connection?
It was just it wasn't necessarily. It was just that they seemingly worked well together. You know, the organization from a trade standpoint and others. I think there's just certain dance partners that you have, and it seemed like Baltimore was always that. Even when they shifted over to like Dave Caldwell, they still made a lot of trades between Baltimore and even when Ozzie Newsome was gone with DeCosta, I think it was, right?
DeCosta.
So
and they were fleecing the Jags for a bit. They kept
coming back to the well.
I think Jan went to them for a
He
little bit.
did. So did Calais.
Who hasn't
Did
Jan
Henderson
play
or
for?
Stroud go there? One of those 2 guys?
They're like, we'll give you a 9th rounder.
Man, we're going to give on Jan again. Jan, 40-something sacks since he's left.
46.
That's crazy. So good. and nobody talks about the guy. Like, he might have the most appreciated career there is from an NFL guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you the number
really
was like nothing less than 8.5 sacks in that run.
Like, I think Kirk Cousins is unappreciated.
I disagree.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I think he's a stat monster, and I think people respect him as that. But I think he can't win the big game, whether it be primetime or playoffs.
You
and
saying
I think people call that out.
People respect him inside the league or outside? Because I don't think fans respect him
Outside, I think
all.
fantasy people know what he is.
Nah.
Like, people understand he's always going to have stats, but he can't get the big win. That's the book on Kirk.
I feel like he doesn't get enough respect.
I don't think for the numbers he puts up. Listen, I'll give you an example. Justin Herbert puts up incredible numbers and they lose, but he gets a ton of love for it. Kirk Cousins puts up similar numbers and sometimes wins and sometimes loses and gets no love for it. In my opinion, that's the way I read it. Now, how true is that?
I saw last year Kirk Cousins in every viral video. I don't know about no love. Like, he was wearing the ice.
I guess
once he put the ice on, it was different.
I'm just saying, like, this guy is not hated. No one thinks he's a bum. They just think he can't win big games.
Well, I think he is a little. I don't know. I think people put him in bum category until, like, he won a lot of people over with the Netflix thing, with the QB series.
Yeah, what you didn't care about Kirk before the Netflix series?
You guys, he's never been in low tier rankings for quite. He's always middle of the pack rankings or higher. Like, people respect him for what he is. I don't think he's a phenomenal superstar, but I also don't think he's a scrub. He's above average as a decent quarterback in this league. I think people see him as that.
I tell you what, though, Jan has got to be in the top, like near the top of this list. There's probably others. There's probably some other pass rushers that in the last 5 years have had like close to 50 sacks, but we don't even really notice it. They just get drowned out for whatever reason, right? Like, it used to be like this a bit on Baltimore because they had a lot of stars in Baltimore. Wasn't Elvis Dumervil?
Oh, Dumervil, yeah.
Like, he would put up good numbers, and I don't really think anybody gave him the credit to be like, yeah, he's one of the top guys.
How many sacks do you think he has in his career?
Dumervil?
He played, 162 games. We're talking 11 years between Denver, Baltimore, and San Francisco.
Wow, I don't think he did much in Denver, if I'm not mistaken. But so I'm going to say, he got hot for a stretch, and he ended up getting like 77 sacks.
Aaron, do you want to play? If you're looking at it, please don't.
I'm not. I'm looking at active all-time sack leaders. Dumervil is not in the group I'm looking at.
What do you got?
How many years are we talking?
11.
Played for Denver, a good defense in Denver, good defense in Baltimore.
Had
1 year in San Fran.
I'll go 60. What'd you say?
I said 77.
65.
Those are good guesses, guys. That would make sense for a guy 11 years. You thought he got hot. I'm pulling an Aaron here because he has 105 career sacks.
Well, so I was right. Like, we didn't appreciate that.
Yeah. Exactly. 2 years was 17.
Yeah, I knew he had a couple monster ones.
And he missed a whole year at one point because he tore his pectoral muscle.
I think like that would, if Jan had 1 year over 15 sacks or right around that, I think that would boost him into people's conscience. But he's just not. And again, you have no idea. You seriously have to ask where he is. He's all over he is going to be one of the most traveled sack masters in the history of the game.
Justin Houston.
This is a position that people like covet.
Yeah, Jan's had 6 teams. Mario Addison, who's above him on the all-time sack list, also active still.
Mario. It's Mario.
6 teams as well. 5 teams for Robert Quinn, who's at number 7. But it's rare.
Fun fact on Elvis Dumervil, since we got him up. Middle name for Elvis Dumervil is Cool.
That's actually his name?
Cool Dumervil. Spelled with a K, though.
Love it.
Cool. Kool.
Love it.
Love this guy. We did not appreciate him when he played.
I got to believe there's somebody. I would love to. This is a great list. We should do this list. Most underappreciated players since, like, in the last, 5-7 years, something like that.
Mitch Trubisky. No?
No.
Okay.
I just would love to. Give me like a running back. Who are we missing? Is there a running back that we're missing?
Arian Foster, unquestioned.
Oh, yeah, that was way back. But
way back. Wait, what do you mean way back?
His post-playing career has been great.
Arian Foster retired in How long ago did he retire?
2016.
Yeah,
This is
7 years
Jan
ago.
started in 2016, so my time frame is different than yours right now.
Bro, this dude, Arian Foster, ran for 1,600 yards one year. 3 straight years. He went 1,600 with 16 tutties, 1,210, 1,415, and then just called it.
Yeah, he was one of those early call-it guys, too.
Love this guy, man. Fantasy legend.
He had like a turbulent career in the NFL as well. Between injuries and then just disagreeing with the front office in the NFL, he was always in trouble calling them out, calling Goodell out, and kind of getting in trouble with his team as well.
You think about two of the most interesting cats from the running back room in the NFL the last decade, and Marshawn Lynch and Arian Foster come to mind.
Yeah.
You know who would have been in this category if they hadn't won Super Bowls? A guy like Teddy Bruschi for the Patriots, like a very good player, but he did get elevated because they won Super Bowls. And that wasn't recent, but that was like way back. But who would fit on this team? A very good player. Probably wasn't like all Pro Bowls.
He's an A-plus effort guy, yeah.
But made an impact. But that's, again, Jan is going to be on this list for the last 5 years of underappreciated players. I just don't. Thinking about a receiver. Give me a receiver. You know why receivers and running backs and quarterbacks and stuff like that's hard to find? Because in fantasy football, they all get recognized. You got to almost be a defensive guy. I mean, Tayshaun Gibson, who we just brought up and started this 20-minute conversation, is like he's probably underappreciated as a player. His career is better than people would probably claim it has been.
Arian Foster, by the way, scored in more than half of the games he played in.
Wow. That seems like a high clip.
Guy was awesome, man.
That's very Calvin Ridley-esque in terms of touchdowns per games.
Crazy.
Crazy. All right, let's come back. We hit some of the big topics around the world. We'll give you an injury update on the Jags. They did just issue their report. A couple guys did not practice today. Some guys limited. Big game against Houston coming up. Jags need to keep the pole position in the AFC South and get the W over a divisional opponent. We'll be back. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy skies this evening. An isolated shower coming in off the Atlantic. Overnight, we drop down to the lower to mid-70s, upper 60s while inland. Increasing clouds Thursday. Some scattered on and off showers through the day. Breezy with highs in the lower to mid-80s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beards Diamonds.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Two roads diverged into a steamy, hot northeast Florida summer. One road led to a home AC system that's unreliable and inefficient. It was fated to fail swiftly. The other road led to a home that's efficiently and dependably cool. Its AC was a mechanical marvel, destined to be a lasting refuge against summer's scorching siege.
Time to take the road most traveled by your neighbors for over 60 years, Hammond Air Conditioning. Hammond is North Florida's most trusted authority for air conditioning services. And with Hammond, your home is never a learning opportunity for inexperienced techs. Hammond's veteran specialists understand how to make a system operate perfectly in our Northeast Florida heat. And they know how to extract all the potential from a modern high-efficiency system. That means they'll design a system perfect for you, one that fits to the temperature you want and will save you money on your electric bills. Right now, get a brand new high-efficiency system for as low as $70 per month, and that's with a 10-year warranty. Go to hammondair.com.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjax.com. That's bestbetjax.com.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you. Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hurt on the job? It's your employer's responsibility to keep you safe. If you've been injured on a work site or anywhere on a job, you can have a case. Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy, and it's free. You only pay if you win your case. That's lunch.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Casey Kurtz.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Football 5, we go here on a Wednesday. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on deck. Last week of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp here on ESPN 690.
That's what
the Orioles just keep winning.
Who cares? Move on.
So when's the last game of the regular season in baseball? Like next Wednesday? Or would they go through like a Sunday?
Nah, it's through like the 1st of October.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm in a heated battle for the fantasy baseball championship.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, and here's what's crazy.
Is it rotisserie style or is it head-to-head? What do you guys do?
Head-to-head. My team stinks. Like, these boys have been garbage. We started out 11-0. We held on, and now we're in the championship. We got no shot. These boys stink. I'm picking up anybody and everybody that pitches against, like, the Oakland A's, and I'm just hoping for the best. So anyway.
That's literally how I stream defenses.
Yep.
You go, who's playing the Cardinals?
If you're playing the Oakland A's of the NFL, you got a shot. So that's what I'm doing. Bad situation.
Did the Red Sox win the World Series in 2017?
No.
You know what?
What year was it?
You just reminded me also that I got taken on Twitter again. This time by a Red Sox story.
Oh, really?
I was reading a Red Sox rumor that I got all hot to trot on before I realized it was fake.
What was the rumor?
The rumor was that Chaim Bloom, before he got fired, the reason he got fired was because he traded Mookie Betts while the owner was out of the country for 2 years. And so the owner comes back and he goes to watch a game with his beloved Red Sox and realizes there's no Mookie Betts. He's like, how come Mookie's not in the lineup? And the story was we traded him and didn't tell you. And so everyone got blown out. And I was about to send that in the text, and I was like, this probably isn't real.
Yeah, very good point. It's
2017 was the cheating Astros.
Yeah, 2018 was the Sox. So I ever tell you the London, when I was in London for the World Series. Remember like the 18-inning game with the Dodgers?
The World Series wasn't in London.
No, but I was in London while the World Series was going on. Red Sox-Dodgers.
Sure.
And so you get there on like Friday morning.
The Dodgers lost 2 World Series in a row?
Yeah, and so you get there Friday morning. You go through the stuff. Well, they're playing on Friday night, whatever that game was, Game 3, I think it might have been. And the Red Sox ended up losing. But that was the series. Remember when Eovaldi pitched like crazy amount of innings out of the bullpen? And I couldn't watch it. I couldn't find it. So I'm listening to it on like the MLB app or something. I don't go to bed that whole night because the game didn't end until like 5 in the morning.
Wow.
London time.
It
just wouldn't end. And then they lost on top of it. Then to top it off, they actually won the World Series.
That's great that they lost, by the way.
On Sunday night, as we're like in midair coming back to Jacksonville.
Nice. Couldn't even be happy about it.
I couldn't watch it. Yeah. That was a weird thing, man. I couldn't watch it.
They don't have...
No, it's different stuff, man, when it's like over the Atlantic. Like you're not watching live TV in the World Series.
What were the football players doing? They stuck them with nothing? No wonder this team sucked.
I think I don't remember. Somehow somebody got an update. I don't know if it was from the pilot that it made its way back that the Red Sox had won the World Series and they announced it, and somebody had it. But that's how I find out.
Yeah, Bert's just in the back of the.
Yes, we did it. Hey, by that time it was like the fourth one in 15 years, man. I was over it.
Bortles was like, "Shut up."
What a weird time to. We don't have to worry about that right here. That's what you got me thinking when you said October 1st. It's the end of the regular season. We don't have to worry about the Red Sox anyway doing anything.
Well, yeah, I was like, you don't have to worry about that at all. They stink.
All right, what you got? We got some X's?
Yeah, let's start with this week's opponent, the Houston Texans. This one comes from Next Gen Stats, guys.
Cool.
C.J. Stroud. He's faced the third highest pressure rate, 44.4%, through his first 2 NFL games. Notably, the Texans were playing without 4 starting offensive linemen on Sunday. So those guys are going to be back this week. When Stroud has been able to avoid pressure, though, the rookie quarterbacks recorded the second highest Next Gen Stats passing score. That's their proprietary score. He's got the second highest in the league this year, 91, and an EPA of plus 29.5. I guess my question to you guys is, it seems pretty important to get pressure on C.J. Stroud. Do you believe the Jags will be able to do it?
Yeah, I do. And I think they'll bring it a little bit. See, this is where you get that exotic defense where you can show some looks that maybe he hasn't seen yet. That's tough on the rookie. They'll have to work that in as well. I also think you can get through this offensive line coming back from injury. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Trey Herndon blitzes, the Rayshon Jenkins blitzes, the Devin Lloyd up the middle blitz. We really haven't seen much of Lloyd doing that yet. So I think you'll see some stuff that you didn't see last week because really Mahomes isn't the guy you blitz.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember they did it once in the second half or fourth quarter, and I was like, why did they just do that?
They did a stat. I think we saw this stat in the offseason, something like nobody dominates on blitzes more than Pat Mahomes.
It's just something about it's the veteran quarterbacks are able, the guys that have played a bunch who understand it. You don't blitz them. Couldn't do it with Brady. You couldn't do it with Rodgers. You just can't do it. In fact, you know what's worked against Mahomes is drop 8 back and make the clock just keep ticking.
Apparently that's what works against Justin Fields too. I saw this stat where the last team that played Justin Fields, I forget who it was, but normally they blitz at a higher rate, ended up blitzing at their lowest rate in over a year. But one of the guys that C.J. Stroud throws to is Nico Collins, who we were talking about just a few minutes ago when we were talking about fantasy and stuff like that. Nico is actually one of the highest graded wide receivers in the league right now, according to PFF. It goes Brandon Ayuk,
nice,
the Cheetah, Jay Jettas, Nico, and Casey, go ahead.
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
I try to tell you guys.
My question to you guys is, which of those guys will be there at the end of the season?
I mean, clearly. Puka Nacua.
You think Nacua will be there still?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill will be there. I'm with you. Justin Jefferson, I'm with you. My question, I'm curious whether you think Nico Collins and Puka Nacua, even Brandon Ayuk, can keep it up over the course of the entire season. And by the way, I don't know that I think Brandon Ayuk is out tomorrow night against the Giants.
He's definitely out tonight.
Yeah, it's not playing tonight.
Listen, you've got to be very careful in your metric world to get too wrapped up in 2 games, right? And it's it can be fun, especially.
Shots fired at you, Case.
It can be fun for a guy like Nico Collins, off to a good start, other things. I'm not telling you should just ignore him, but it's such a small skew and sample, then you got to be a little careful.
Yeah. Oh, he's looking at the Magic 8-Ball case. What does it give you?
All I can see is him wearing the Dream 18 hat, and
so I asked.
He looks like a bobblehead doll.
Thank you, Brent. I asked the Dream 18. I asked the Magic 8-Ball, is Puka Nacua the real deal, and am I a genius for finding him when nobody else did?
And what did it say?
It is decidedly so.
Oh,
congrats.
clearly,
he'll be there at the end. Is Brent dumb?
Well, there's a small sample on Puka Nacua.
So.
Yes. All right.
Small sample on Puka with 2 games, but an even smaller sample for a guy like Gardner Minshew, who was only in for less than a full game, but still balled out last weekend. Word out of Indy is that he will be starting again this week. Anthony Richardson still in concussion protocol. Guys, are the Colts going to mess around and win some games here with Gardner Minshew or what?
Yeah, but that's okay for them.
Yeah?
They don't mind winning games.
And you feel okay. You're not worried.
About who?
The Colts are going to mess around and start something.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about him in the long term. I thought you were saying about from like draft positioning.
No,
I'm not worried about that.
The Colts are playing the Ravens. They ain't winning.
Gardner Minshew mania. You can't count him out.
I can against the Ravens. They're playing the Ravens.
I think what's interesting, Gusson's defense was so good against the Jags in week 1, and then they give up 384 yards against Stroud. Again, I would say they were down. They're up 28-10, and the way their defense plays, it's like keep everything in front of you. They probably went super prevent and maybe chewed up yards that way. I didn't watch the plays, but it was just kind of interesting to see that dynamic where we think their defense could carry them and be pretty good up front.
Yeah.
And, Stroud kind of ended up with good numbers at the end of the day.
Casey, you and I will like this post, this X post. Brent, you may enjoy this one, too.
Oh, good.
This is from my guy, Warren Sharp, who comes up with a fun game I think we should all try.
He hasn't been
here.
on the show yet.
Fun game we should all try here. He goes, I just imagine an NFL franchise with Brandon Staley as the head coach, Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator, and it's owned by Daniel Snyder. The game for you guys is to come up with a worst franchise.
Anybody coached by Urban Meyer.
I was going to say Urban Meyer's got to be head coach.
Yeah. Urban Meyer, head coach.
Brent, can you throw some earmuffs on? Case, are you throwing Nathaniel Hackett at OC or what?
Well, I was really going to throw the earmuffs on when I said Dave Caldwell is the GM, Brent. Don't listen to that.
Don't listen to that either.
Well, if you really want to go Jags GMs, then you'd have to go back to Gene Smith.
Either way.
What about owner? Is there a worse owner than Daniel Snyder?
Probably not.
Probably not. You're not going to Irsay?
No. That's tough. No, he's not worse, but that's tough to work for.
Yeah.
Or even Jerry Jones. Like he's not bad, but it's tough
he's
to
a meddler,
work
though.
in. You remember the draft when they showed him after the Bills picked Kincaid, and the boys were like, "What do we do?" Like that's bad. That starts with your owner. That's bad.
Oof.
They didn't know what to do, Brett.
I don't. I think it's easy. I don't even think there's another second place with Snyder.
Yeah, I think Snyder is like in the Hall of Fame of bad owners all time in the NFL. Let's go to Rookie Watch.
Snyder and Hackett, the boys.
They're talking about Jalen Carter, who is just dominating early this season. I mean, in a way that everyone thought he was going to do before all the nonsense happened for him at the Combine, or really the car accident that happened back at Georgia. He was expected to be the first player off the board who wasn't a quarterback if he fell that far. Jalen Carter currently has more pressures than Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald.
Wow.
More quarterback hurries than Quinnen Williams, Micah Parsons, and T.J. Watt.
Micah Parsons, holy cow.
A higher pass rush win rate than Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Kenny Clark. Dick Vermeil. You guys remember Dick Vermeil?
Kenny Clark's a good one, by the way, for your totally forgotten about
guys.
list.
Yeah. Dick Vermeil said Carter reminds him of Reggie White.
Ooh.
Looks like the Eagles, who already had a great defense, may have gotten the steal of the draft, even at pick number 9 or wherever he went.
Well, again, this goes back to what we were saying about Justin Fields earlier, where situational stuff takes place. There's no way he's putting these kind of numbers up in Carolina. You know what I mean?
You're saying he's got enough help in Philadelphia that
yeah, and I'm not knocking him. He's a terrific player, but then you put a terrific player who
with
might
other
be
terrific
capable
players.
of this anyway with this defense where you're not really asking him to do this. He's just doing it because everybody else is doing everything else. You know, I mean, that's such a great situation to be in.
Totally.
And I just don't think he would be doing this in most other places. I mean, they have the most stacked defense. Now, maybe if you go to Dallas, right? The way their defense is, he might be putting up these kind of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But if he goes to Houston or a Carolina or a team that's kind of still rebuilding and doesn't have everything that the Eagles have or the Cowboys have, not going to put up these kind of numbers. I mean, these are insane numbers right off the rip. But that's what happens when you get a pick in the top 10 and the guy falls to you at number 9 and everybody thinks he's maybe the best player in the draft.
Yeah, you may want to consider him for Defensive Rookie of the Year. We just mentioned Matt Canada a post or two ago. Here's Pro Football Talk. I know we don't like Mike Florio anymore.
No,
everyone's throwing strays at Mike Florio. I don't know that he actually posted this one, though, so we'll use it. Kenny Pickett. This is what Kenny said about his offense. Clearly, we do not have an offensive identity.
Ooh.
We've got to find it. Who's Kenny talking to? Is he talking to his wide receivers, George Carl Pickens?
He's talking to Najee.
Is he talking to Najee?
It's like, bruh.
Who seems slower than you at this point?
Holy, I think I could take him. Like that, watching that game, I think I got a shot.
Is he talking to his head coach, begging for some help here on the offense?
Or is he talking to his offensive line?
Or his line, who apparently can't protect. I saw a stat today, and I have to go look it up again, but I think the Steelers have zero yards rushing before contact on the 23 season.
Wow.
That's not good.
That's bad. That is awful.
Who's Kenny Pickett talking? Like, the Steelers are running the risk of taking a step backwards at a time where everyone thought they were taking a step forward.
I also don't mind Pickett saying this, kind of taking a little bit of a leadership role, you know?
Has he done enough to, like, I like Kenny Pickett, but has he done enough to say that?
I don't think he has.
Well,
I think he's part of the problem.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but the quarterback needs to be the guy kind of saying, let's go. Now, when you say let's go, you better perform, right?
Right.
So there's an element of that. But somebody's got to do it. Who else is doing it on that offense? I mean, Deontay is out. Is Pickens going to be that guy? Najee's not playing well. Like they, and even Tomlin's a defensive guy. Like Tomlin, if he wants to get under him, he's still a defensive guy. So, yeah, I don't mind Pickett doing this. But you better go play well. You can't go throw 3 picks this week.
You cannot.
Small hands and all.
Looking at the Steelers and the Bengals, like who's racing to the bottom of the North? That's a wild thought.
It is. Bengals will turn it around, but they won't at any point lead the division. You guys remember that?
I do.
Call back from yesterday.
A last one comes from Bleacher Report, who reminds us that Justin Fields today, when asked why he's been so robotic and struggled in the offense, let everyone know he thought it could be because of the coaching. And then after seeing the internet run wild with it and the media take him fully in context, he held a second press conference at his locker to say that wasn't what he meant.
You ever seen that, Brent?
I feel like I have, yeah. I think that's happened around here, too. I mean, maybe not like the national story stuff, but a clarification of, I can't remember, but I feel like it's happened around here.
Not a lot, though.
No, it's pretty rare.
I know it's early. It's week 3. But don't you get the feeling their season's on the brink of being lost?
Yeah, and here's the deal. You get feeling more than that, right? Justin Fields might not be it. Eberflus might not be it. And then if all this isn't it, then Ryan Poles and all the money spent, everything was probably spent not the right way. So, yeah. And in reality, if that's where they're headed that way probably for the next 3 to 5 years. They're going to set the franchise back with the moves that they made, from head coach to quarterback to free agency.
But how could you even wrap your head around that when you know they're going to have 2 high draft picks next year?
See, that's what I wonder, like, about setting the franchise back. Like, yeah, they may have. It's not going to work with Justin Fields, whatever. Eberflus, we questioned it when they hired him. But if you have a chance with Caleb Williams or Drake May, how much did you really set them back? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you're picking 7th, then I'm with you.
Yeah.
But they got a shot for 1 or 2, and they got 2 chances at it because Carolina doesn't look any good either.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. It's a unique circumstance where they might get that. But we also know they're going to be in a battle for bad teams. And I'm not sure on paper they're as bad as Arizona or Carolina or you name it. Now, Carolina's not looking at a quarterback. Maybe Arizona's not looking at a quarterback. So maybe they fall into one. So they could correct themselves almost in a way like we've seen it with multiple teams. Like Kansas City corrected themselves after a miserable year because they had like 6 Pro Bowlers. They hire Andy Reid. They get Alex Smith. Boom. Indianapolis did it when they lost Peyton Manning. They had a bad year. They got Andrew Luck. So it could have that. It's Chicago, and it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. And it's going to fall in their lap. Nothing's really fallen in their lap in a good way in a while.
I think if we get to the bye and it's uglier than this, Eberflus is done.
That's a short leash now.
It is a very short leash. But you just had your rookie GM go out there and spend every dollar they had on improving this team.
But just for what's happening there today, I don't know if they can fire Eberflus because now you need a defensive coordinator and a head coach if this guy's going to do that. So you
and
might
an
get
offensive
stuck.
coordinator, quite frankly, because if you keep Getsy and you fire everybody else, you're going to regret it.
Yeah, they're in a really bad
spot.
Hey, you might have heard this recently about the recent UAW strike, and everybody at Nimnik Buick GMC and their family of dealerships wants to assure you that this will not impact your ability to purchase vehicles from them. In fact, they're proud to announce currently have the strongest inventory levels in years at Nimnik Buick GMC. You can go visit nimnikbuickgmc.com or off Phillips Highway as well. Best price guarantee. Most of the vehicles consistently priced at or below MSRP, including some of the most sought-after models with Nimnik Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. We'll be back after this. Bo on the show. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on deck on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Catch Florida State football on Jacksonville's home for ESPN 690. Saturday, the Seminoles travel to Death Valley to take on the Clemson Tigers. Our coverage starts Saturday morning at 9:30 with the Florida State Tailgate Show. Then Jeff Colhane, William Floyd, and Tom Block have the call from Death Valley of Knowles Tigers. Kickoff at 12 noon Saturday. Florida State football is powered by Bass Professional Realty, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Willie Jewell's Barbecue.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Shoulder pain can be caused by repetitive or overhead activities. Bursitis, tendonitis, and frozen shoulder are all examples of shoulder pain without a known injury. Alternating heat and cold therapies, massage, and stretching, and paying attention to your sleep style can help. One of the most important things you can do if you have shoulder pain is rest. You can also reduce inflammation in your body naturally through your diet. If your pain lasts longer than 2 weeks, or if you feel a pop or tearing sensation in your shoulder, the orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treating your pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or to learn more, go to JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options, what we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing, but lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
More at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Exergen thermometers are the smart choice when selecting a thermometer. With children back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Got a fever? Stay home. To detect fever accurately at home, you need a clinically accurate, fast, and non-invasive thermometer. The Exergen thermometer is backed by over 100 clinical studies. Accuracy matters. Be smart and safe. Measure accurately with Exergen thermometers. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hey, it's Brent Morton from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Finally, a contributor to the Immaculate Grid.
About time. Thank you, Brent.
That's not one of the only things we've made right in the last commercial break. I got to shout out Ian Jensen, who pointed out we were naming Wyoming safeties. We named Gibson, and then we named the other guy I'm not remembering. We forgot our favorite Wyoming safety of all time, Dewey Wingard.
I didn't know we were trying to name people.
Well, you got to pay attention to your own show, Brent.
Chad Muma
is not a Wyoming
safety.
A
safety.
No, he's a linebacker. Maybe he played safety for a bit.
He might have. But I would hate to disrespect.
Guys, I'm going to Adam Humphries. I feel good about it.
You do.
We've lost Casey to the Immaculate Grid once again.
He's going all
He's locked in. We're close.
2015 to 21. It's got to be.
I don't know, man. Did Adam Humphries play for Washington?
I don't think so.
All right, I won't do it.
I don't. It's your game.
Clinton
no
Portis.
Flies on me. Whether you.
Clinton Portis wasn't a Buck.
Do it anyway.
No. If I'm losing, I'm losing with Adam Humphries.
You know what I was saying? It's interesting. Green Bay, there are not a lot of players that come to mind.
Yeah.
Because you're so quarterback driven. And then
when I think Green Bay, I think wide receivers because of the quarterback.
Yeah, so you see the stars, but it feels like you should be able to name way more Green Bay players over the years. They were on national TV all the time.
All the time.
And I really can't. I feel like
name me some running backs, because I'm not thinking of any in the last couple of years, but from 10, 15, 20 years ago, I can't think of any.
Or even on defense, defensive players outside of going way back to
Wasn't
Reggie
Buckley
White
on their team?
Yeah, he was, actually. Yeah. That's a good call.
There's one or two of those guys who were pretty good.
Popping out.
Reggie White, obviously.
Did what's his name play the guy on McAfee's show now? Matthews?
A.J. Hawk.
Or A.J. Hawk, that's it. Wait, didn't Matthews go to the Green Bay too, though?
He did.
At the end of his career?
No, both of them were
Clay
Green Bay.
Matthews was big-time Green Bay.
Yeah, both of them were Green Bay.
Yeah. So where else? Did he play somewhere else?
Matthews went somewhere.
Yes.
I think it was the Rams. I'm going Adam Humphries, guys.
Good luck with that.
You really want it. I hope you're right.
2%! Come on, boys!
I told you, man, we should do this every week. We should have an Immaculate Grid segment.
Yeah.
We need Packers.
By the way, if we had an Immaculate Grid segment every week, we'd do this thing in 5 minutes. I know everybody else listening. Of course, they'd probably Google it.
They would Google it, yeah.
No, I like the knowledge of our listeners and viewers. I think it's probably pretty good. Hey, the story of the Jags from an injury standpoint, Josh Allen limited today in practice, and that's actually a very good sign that he's limited and not out. I'll continue to say I'm surprised that it's looking like he could play on Sunday, so we'll see. Hopefully he does. But limited in practice. Andrew Wingard actually does have a shoulder injury that he's been nursing a bit. Limited as well. Brendan Sheriff did not practice, but this because of a personal situation, not because of the ankle, at least on the injury report.
Not that he has a personal situation, but that the injuries aren't holding him back.
Foley Fatukasi shoulder did not practice.
That's a little troubling, seeing as how integral he's been to that run defense.
Yeah, that is a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow, especially. Probably be a big day to see if he's back at it. Zay Jones did not practice with a knee injury.
Are you concerned he's not going to play?
Yeah, it's a knee. And
Pederson says Tim Jones instead of Zay if Zay can't go.
The thing about it is, did Zay miss a game last year too?
Yes.
I want to say he did, right?
He did.
So I think they'll be cautious, and this is a position they could be cautious with. And I was joking a little bit about it before. Maybe take one of them out of the fold, and they'll find a rhythm because not as many mouths to feed. But seriously, they do have a ton of depth there.
Yeah.
They have more depth at the wide receiver position than maybe anywhere else on their football team. So if you want to be cautious with a player and not put him in there if it's not feeling 100%, makes sense. The interesting thing about Zay is he came out of the game Sunday, looked like he was going to be out and just couldn't give it a go, but then he got back up, ran along the sideline, got back in there for a little bit. So him and Josh Allen ended up back in the game.
My guy Zay is a dog.
Against Sunday against Kansas City. Antonio Johnson, this hamstring has really lingered for quite some time.
Yeah.
So that's the Jags injury report. He did not practice again. He's not expected back. 3 did not practice for the Houston Texans. Perryman at linebacker, Jalen Petrie at safety, and Thomas, the cornerback. And then they got a bunch of guys limited in practice. One guy that nobody's talking about, and this is probably a good thing, but remember the biggest concern coming into the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Do you remember what it might have been? Outside of, saying the pass rush, right? From a player standpoint, Devon Hamilton.
Yep.
So it's like, well, Devon Hamilton, he's been a monster. They've given him the big extension. How are they going to do without him? Well, their running defense has been very good.
Great, yeah.
You know, so I'm not telling you they haven't missed him. They can beef it up even more when Devon does come back. He's obviously going to miss the first 4 games, but it's a nice thing that this defense has made up for it, showed some of the depth with a guy like Adam Gotsis, who I believe sneaky is a very valuable player for this football team. If you think about over the years, you say Gotsis, DeJuan Smoot, and probably Tyler Shatley lead my list of valuable players that are often forgotten about. Now, Smoot, with his 22 sacks, would headline that list because the production's there.
Yeah.
But when you have a guy like Shatley and also Gotsis, those aren't like production players, but they fit the role, do the job, and add very good depth to your team. And I think probably 2 of the most underrated players that Jacksonville Jaguars have had these last few years. Gotsis has put a nice career together in Jacksonville.
He has. And he's got a great back tattoo.
He does. That's always a nice added bonus, I guess.
I'll tell you what,
hey,
Dak Prescott.
Hey, you did a great job at work today, and you have a hell of a back tattoo.
And he didn't have to get knocked out to get it.
Who did we have on? Oh, we had on Jags Report Live. We had Rayshawn Jenkins, and he's got a lot of tattoos on his chest and stomach. He said he was awake the whole time, 9 hours.
9 hours, a long session.
He said he'll never do it again.
I did 4 hours on an arm. I never want to even come close to that ever again. I'll break that up into 2 next time.
It's amazing how many people get tattoos despite the pain of it.
Yeah, I actually, it's like having a kid. Here's the analogy. It's like you think about it a long time and you look forward to it. You finally do it. And while you're having it done, you realize this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. But it's too late. You've already started, right? So then a couple of months later, you look back on it and you're like, you know what? It kind of looks good. I kind of enjoy it. And then like a year or 2 later, you're like, let's get another tattoo. And then you sit in the chair and they start poking you with the needle. You're like, you know what? This sucks. It was dumb. Who let me do this again?
Why are we having a second kid?
Yes. Same thing.
Might have been the greatest analogy on the history of the show.
Man of the year, guys.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton up next. I'll see you on TV tonight. We're back at it tomorrow. Aaron Schachter on 96.9. The Eagle, bright and early in your morning. Have a good night, everybody.
Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do
ball. And have a good night, everybody. Car Bravo is here at Nimnick Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnick Buick GMC. Experience used-phoria with Car Bravo online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC. We are professional grade.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Tropical Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of starfruit pineapple. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Tropical Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjax.com.
I wouldn't be exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs and without surgery. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. That's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downside
downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today. Imagine this fall moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, playing golf, playing with the grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started. 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522 for a free consultation with QC Kinetics.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Welcome back for the fall semester at UNF. The Ospreys swoop into the fall with a busy schedule. Soccer, cross country, volleyball, and swimming. The ASUN just announced swimming and diving as a sponsored sport now. They will compete in ASUN play. Plenty of events to attend, something for everyone on the campus of UNF. Men's and women's basketball schedules are out as well, so you can get your season tickets for the basketball schedule right now. Get news, schedules, results, and tickets at UNFospreys.com. And swoop with the Ospreys all season.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKB Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams has resigned, citing his health. Head coach Matt Eberflus will call the defense Sunday against the Chiefs. A vow today from Bears quarterback Justin Fields. He wants to return to playing like himself, free and less robotic. Includes thinking less, going out there, playing off instincts. His answer to why he's been playing too robotic could be coaching, but he did make it clear he's not blaming his coaches. No problem with Fields' honesty for Eberflus.
The meeting we had this week was good. It was good. He expresses, what he would like. I express what he's doing well, what he needs to work on, and that's always going to be the case. And it was a good conversation. I just want him to speak free. I want him to speak free to us. I want him to be honest. I want him to be forthright with what he's saying, and then, can we work through this together to get him to play free and have that flow.
Bears coach Matt Eberflus. Giants star running back Saquon Barkley out against the 49ers tomorrow night due to an ankle injury. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young held out of today's walkthrough with an ankle injury. The team is keeping mum on his status for Sunday's game against Seattle.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
What's up? Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690.
That might be the quickest we've gotten into the show.
I thought about that. What did he say? He said, I'm in your head. You're not in my head. I was just ready. I would have actually, to be honest, I would have been on earlier, but Brent's just standing here in the way.
Wow.
I couldn't get through.
Wow.
Stop looking at me. What does that have to... Just move. Get out of the way. Go do TV or something. Shock the world. Be on time somewhere. Oh,
somewhere.
Just anywhere. Be on time once. He's gone. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Here we are. The Open was short, but it was sweet. It is a Wednesday. We were not with you yesterday. You heard from Mike Norvell inside Seminole Football talking about the near disaster that almost happened at Boston College last weekend for the Florida State Seminoles. They were up, then they were nearly not up, and then they barely pulled it out after 190 yards of penalties from Boston College. Holy cow, ugly football. They play Clemson this week at noon. Big game, all kinds of things. But that's what you heard yesterday instead of us. And then you heard Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. You will hear Jumbo Shrimp Baseball again this evening. After us, they are in Nashville to wrap up the season. Nashville, as we've discussed many a times on this radio station, the most overrated city in America. Oh. Brian, comment?
I've never been, so I don't know.
You never been?
Nah, I've been through, never actually been in.
That's fair. You're not missing much. There's like one road.
Oh, so it's like
It's like one-
Yulee. All right.
It's they basically call it Yulee of the North.
There you go.
That is what they call it. Anyway, the Shrimp will wrap up their season in Nashville. And you will hear it right here on ESPN 690.
A lot of Jordy Nelson love in this chat. A lot of, yeah.
Jordy Nelson. Wait, was he a...
What's going on?
It's for the Immaculate Grid. Was Jordy Nelson...
A lot of it in the chat.
Jordy Nelson wasn't a Buck. Was he a Titan? You checked? So what? We need a Packer that was was a Packer and a Tampa Bay Buccaneer or a Tennessee Titan.
Oh.
We're doing the Immaculate Grid, Brian. Are you familiar?
Got you. Yeah, you explained it to me before. I didn't realize that it was this involved, though, man. You guys made it a part of the show. I like that, man.
They effortlessly try to make sure I don't make it a part of the show, and then I always somehow bring it in by just speaking on the microphone I was given.
There we go.
May I lose the microphone at some point? Potentially. But as of now, that's where we are. On Wednesday, we will do the power rankings now since we could not on Tuesday. We will also...
Oh, that's great.
What's happening in there, boys?
Hey, man, listen, man, little production during the show, man.
Very good. We go to the power rankings on a Wednesday, overtime with Kurtz in Middleton. Brian, I want you to start. I started last week. You laughed at me. You stomped your feet. You threw a whole big
that's
fit.
because you picked Miami.
Well, guess what?
1.
All right, I'll start off. Listen, no change at my very top. The San Francisco 49ers, 2 weeks in a row as the number 1 overall team in my power rankings. The right answer as well. Listen, CMC, another week, ho-hum, 100-plus yard game, another touchdown. Another week where some of the bigger names like Debo, even though I think he scored. And,
he did.
And Kittle, it hasn't really clicked for them yet as an offense. Still 2-0. That should scare folks right there. Another week, another couple of interceptions for the defense. And I got to be real with you. The Rams are a surprisingly sprightly team, Casey Kurtz. So, I think that these first 2 wins are pretty good wins against Pittsburgh in week 1, against the Rams in week 2. And I think that also doing both of these on the road, all these things should scare teams like Philadelphia. Not Dallas, but Philadelphia. Other teams who have aspirations to at least go to the Super Bowl or, go to the playoffs in the NFC. Because if San Francisco's doing this on the road, they're only going to be better at home. And they've already knocked out 2 of their away games. It's going to be a problem out here if that offense starts to click sooner than later, which I think is going to happen. So I have San Francisco as my number 1 overall, Casey.
The only team in the AFC to have scored 60 points this season is the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, 2-0. One more impressive than the other, I will be real with you. Beating the Patriots by 1 score was not the most impressive, but that's 2 road games and that's 2 victories. They will barely go on the road the rest of the way. And they have another one, 3 of their first 4 on the road. You're at home basically the whole rest of the season. Couple here and there. The schedule gets easy this week as they play the Denver Broncos, who stink. We're talking 3-0. We're talking the Bills after that. We're talking the Giants, then the Panthers. This thing is shaping up for the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, I should say, was taken out of that game by the rookie, Christian Gonzalez. That's one thing. And they're like, no worries. We've got Raheem Mostert. We'll just hand it to him 18 times for $120 and 2. Tua's like, I don't know your name. I don't know who you are, but you're open. River Carcraft. Let's throw you the football. Braxton Berrios, sure. Durham Smythe, why not? Devon Achane, why not? Sure. Everybody can get it. You get a jersey, you wear gloves.
Whoa, that's wild.
You wear gloves, everybody can get the football, is what I meant to say.
That's a wild statement to make on the air, man, live. Holy smokes.
They got to figure out how to play some defense at some point. I'm not going to lie to you, but as of now, they're 2-0. They scored the most points in the AFC. I'm very much in on the Miami Dolphins.
It sounds like it, huh? Oh boy,
2.
Everyone can get it.
Yeah, that's what they be saying.
Casey Kurtz, we quoted him on the Miami Dolphins, huh?
He did.
What did I say?
2.
There we go. Number 2. I got the Dallas Cowboys up from number 3 from week 1. Once again, 2 weeks in, this team looks like they are on a mission. You hear me? Kellen Moore might have been the problem. Got to be real with you. Mike McCarthy is out here getting busy. And so is this Dallas Cowboys offense and defense. But the offense is offensing unlike any other offense. Better than the offense you just named in the Miami Dolphins. There is a 60-point differential.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it.
You said the only team to score 60-plus points in Miami Dolphins.
I said in the AFC.
In the AFC, there you go. 60-point
right.
differential.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
That means that you're playing highly at a high level on offense and defense. I believe they scored 70 points.
Yeah, 70-10.
Yeah.
They've only given up 10 points.
That's insane. And, to do what they did in week 1, some people were like, you're supposed to do that. Do we really believe in Daniel Jones and the Giants? Okay. And you talk about the Jets. All I've heard is how vaunted is it vaunted or vaulted? How serious?
Vaunted. It's vaunted.
How vaunted their defense is. And I was on the train as far as Sauce Gardner's the truth, which he is, I think. And the other guy who had 3 interceptions. I can't think of his name right now.
Whitehead.
Yeah. Okay, Jets aficionados in the building. We appreciate it. And the Jets do have a good defense. So for the Cowboys to say, you know what, we can't put up 40, but we'll put up 30 on the Jets? Come on, man. That's impressive. I still hold true to the fact, I will say it till the NFL season is over and done with. The Dallas Cowboys, when they play at their highest level, it's better than any other team in the NFL, including San Francisco, including Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, and whoever else you think is on the upswing right now. They've shown it over and over again. By the way, the defense, yes, 10 points all season. Micah Parsons been playing out of his mind. Trayvon Diggs, another interception, and everybody's contributing. Dallas Cowboys, my number 2, Casey.
Coming back to you quickly on this one because my number 2 is also the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey!
It's kind of reckless what's happening. They got 10 sacks in 2 games. They got 5 interceptions in 2 games. They've scored 70 points in 2 games. It's a bit reckless right now in Dallas. Dak is playing. Tony Pollard is taking over as the lean back, and it is working just fine. I mean, there's nothing you can say about Dallas right now other than they're really good at football. So I got the Dallas Cowboys at number 2.
Look at you, making the right choices. I like that right there, man. Maybe we OT cursed them just now. Here we go.
3.
Possibly.
Number 3, I got the Miami Dolphins. Again, up from 4th, last week 1. So, I can see what everybody else sees, right? I'm not a complete idiot. Wow. This offense is big time. This offense can overwhelm you. And I think the scary part about this, Casey, especially is this. Week 1, Tua lost his last mile, 400-plus yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any and everywhere. Tyreek Hill, 215 yards receiving, 11 catches. This week, I believe it was 6 different receivers or, receivers, running backs, however you want to do that combination, caught passes.
Yep.
None of them over 5 yards. Tua still had like 250 yards somewhere around there. But the real backbreaker was your boy, was the running back, Raheem Mostert.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that this is not only a high-flying offense, passing, but they got a legitimate run game too? Is this really pick your poison? As long as they have an offense that can, hey, you want to take away something from me, Bill Belichick, which you have tended to do over the entirety of your career, that's something that you're known for. Let's take away what's best. Let's try to temper your passing game, and I can still run the ball on you? Good luck, AFC. Good luck, because they're going to beat you. Now, does this hold up? I don't know, but I am impressed in the first 2 weeks offensively. Defensively, I'm holding judgment, one, because Justin Herbert in that offense with the Chargers, they're loaded. They're loaded. I get it. They got to overcome Brandon Staley. You know, Casey Kurtz has been on that for years now.
Guy stinks.
They got to overcome him.
He stinks.
But Justin Herbert in that offense with those receivers and Austin Eckler, so, 34 points, yeah, that probably can happen, And then this game, I think that they played better. But I want to hold judgment until Jalen Ramsey gets back and they have their full
So
spectrum.
December.
Yeah, I got to hold it because, listen, that piece out there on what they think Jalen Ramsey can bring, especially stopping the pass, is going to help everybody out exponentially. So, hey, listen, it doesn't always look great, but they're getting the job done. And like you said, 2 on the road, and now they're getting more home games than not. Miami Dolphins at number 3 for me, man.
Wow. I like it, Brian. Listen, I got the 49ers at number 3. Here's why it's scary for the...
My bad. I hit button.
What's wrong with it? Too low?
Way too low.
Too low. Okay, I'll take that. That's constructive criticism, Brian. Thank you. I will take that, and I will learn from it. Here's why it's terrifying. Christian McCaffrey is 100% healthy. He's back. He's here. Panthers fans are sad about it. Just ask Brian Middleton.
That's good, yeah.
He has 42 carries. 42 carries in 2 weeks. He's averaging 6.4 a carry. Holy cow, couple of touchdowns to go with it. He's caught some passes as well. That is no surprise. 6 of them, to be exact. And here's the deal. Brock Purdy is... I saw enough last year, and I said it all offseason. We've seen enough now. He's not going to turn the football over, period. He's got unbelievable playmakers around him like Debo, like CMC, like Brandon Ayuk, like George Kittle. It goes on and on and on and on. They have all of these guys. He's going to get him the football, and he's not going to turn it over. So they're going to win a lot of games. That's how they've scored 60 points already this season. Just looks easy for them right now. And Brock Purdy he's not the best quarterback in the league. He's not the most talented. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has maybe the best supporting cast around him. Front to back, top to bottom. Offensive line, good. He's been sacked a couple of times, but still, it's a decent offensive line. And their defense hasn't even come into full form yet. They're getting sacks, they're getting turnovers, but Nick Bosa is still going to make his presence felt for probably 20 sacks this season. He's just got to get to that point. And they've got other guys that are making plays. San Francisco is very, very, very dangerous. CMC is back, all the way back. Brock Purdy's good. The 49ers are dangerous.
4.
Okay. All right, so at least we got the top 3 as the same.
We have agreed.
Group
How about that?
in the grouping.
I'm sure we
Just
won't.
The order's a little different.
I actually know for a fact we will not on the next 2.
Yeah, probably not. All right, guys, this is the biggest jump in the power rankings that I can remember.
No way. Maybe we have done this.
Since the Jets came out of
the Jets when they went to 1?
Yeah, 9th of 1. Okay, so this is a little bit of history right here. We've got the Baltimore Ravens. I had them 9th.
Wow.
I had them 9th. Now, before the chirping starts again, listen, I get it. Beating the Texans, I hope, doesn't mean a whole lot. But, let me not speak too soon until the Jags actually get a win against them and they look convincing. But Baltimore looked convincing against the Houston Texans with the C.J. Stroud first game ever, things of that nature. It looked good, fine, 25-9. Last week, the same worries that people were putting out there for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Kansas City coming in 0-1, that this is a great team, desperate. You're going to have to deal with that desperation with a winning team that's going to try to elevate their level of play. The same thing had to go to Baltimore, except that the degree of difficulty might have been higher because they were going on the road to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati didn't want to start 0-2, even though they started 0-2 last year and things turned out fine. And they went in there and got a win. Lamar Jackson played well. Lamar Jackson wasn't asked to be the running option number 1. And he was able to spread the ball out, to his receivers. Zay Flowers has been a nice, I wouldn't say surprise, but he's coming along nicely. That offense, with Andrews and whatnot, it's coming along nicely. And any defense, Casey Kurtz, any defense that can hold Jamar Chase to 5 catches and I think 30-something yards, you all right with me. You got something there. at least with the secondary or pressure on the quarterback, whatever you want to talk about. I know Burrow's kind of injured or whatever it is that may be going on in Cincinnati. But Baltimore is looking okay. You hear that? Action News Jackson's Ben Becker. Do you hear that? I think Baltimore is looking okay to the point where they're number 4 after 2 weeks of the NFL season on my power rankings. Who you got, Casey?
Not in mine. Not even close.
Okay.
At number 4, this is why they're at number 4. Do you remember what happened 1,244 days ago? Do you remember, Brian?
I mean, maybe, but do you remember? Why don't you tell me if you remember?
I do remember. It made a lot of sense when it happened. And that day, 1,244 days ago, was the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, in which DeAndre Swift was picked to the Lions. And over the last 1,244 days, one thing I have consistently asked about DeAndre Swift: why won't they give him the ball? I was talking to the Lions for the most part. They traded him to the Eagles. And then after 1 week, I said, why won't they give him the ball? Brian, I'm happy to tell you that 3 years after he was drafted, somebody has finally figured out to give DeAndre Swift the football. Finally, it happened. He was a menace at Georgia. And someone finally figured out to give him the ball. That's the Eagles. That's why I have him at number 4. It's pretty simple. This guy was a first-round talent. The Lions didn't use him. The Eagles get him. They have all these other random running backs. They put DeAndre Swift in. Boom, 175 yards. Boom. Just like that. No problem. You add it to Jalen Hurts, who people... Here's the crazy part. People are saying Jalen Hurts not looking too good. 71% completion percentage so far this year. What are we talking about? 71%? That's a number. Yeah. A.J. Brown's mad on the sidelines. Oh, well, A.J. Brown. Everybody else is happy. Get over it. It's going to be fine. The boys are going to make plays. The Eagles are going to run the football. That's where we are. I'm not worried about the Eagles one bit. They're 2-0. Everyone seems to forget about them. I don't know why. People are trying to write them off because they played 2 close games. It's the NFL. You don't blow people out a lot. I'm very much in on the Eagles. DeAndre Swift, 1,300 days basically ago, got drafted. Been waiting for the football. He finally got it. Good for him.
Can't handle the ball when he's on injured reserve. To Detroit's credit, I mean, he ain't. It wasn't like he was just like in pads for some of that time in Detroit. Anyway, hey, good point. Good point. Philadelphia, though, huh? Number 4. All right. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to get there.
5.
Here we go, Casey.
Yeah, I'm about to get reckless too. What you got?
Okay, this is why we are visionaries. Can we just change the show to Visionaries?
Sure, we can. Sure.
I think that'd be dope for the time we have left. So, at number 5. I've got the Atlanta Falcons, which hurts me to my core being a Carolina Panthers fan, growing up a Carolina Panthers fan. You don't give any respect to the Saints, and you definitely don't give any respect to the Atlanta Falcons. That's what you don't do.
Wow.
But listen, I cannot deny this. Listen, you beat the people in front of you. As a 2-0 team, I get it. Panthers, people don't think highly of them, and they shouldn't. Green Bay Packers, I guess the jury's out because of Jordan Love. Like, the jury's out. It was a good game, but we don't know if the Packers are solid or not. But what Atlanta is building there with, number 1, the run game, that's going to cause all kinds of heck between Robinson and Algier. For the rest of the league, yeah, the same way I said good luck with dealing with Miami's offense in the AFC, good luck in the NFC. Because if we're going to do nothing else, we're going to be able to run the ball on you. Mm-hmm. If you stop one, you ain't stopping both. You're not stopping it all. Desmond Ridder, I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Like, he's played fine. The completion percentage is not Jalen Hurts. I know that much. But he hasn't put the team in harm's way to lose games. And if you got a young QB, what would you love to have? Something that he could rely on. A great run game. A top-tier run game, which they do have.
Yep.
You got a whole Drake London out there.
Throw it to him.
He's just, hey, I'm rooting for a great opportunity. The thing that I'm confused on, and I don't follow Atlanta close enough, Casey, maybe you know, the Kyle Pitts thing is just not working.
It's just not working.
I don't know if it's not a scheme. I don't know what it is. But, I guess give it more time. He's a young guy, too. Defensively, you got a guy in Grady Jarrett that is finally happy that he's like, finally, even if we go 2-15, no, don't go 2-15, but even if we go 2-15, finally, I'm on a squad that looks like they can do some things because defensively he is still pretty good. He hasn't fallen off. And anywhere that the mayor of Jacksonville goes, seemingly just seems to get solid. Maybe not number 1 seed, but they get solid with that leadership and with just the overall talent still of a Calais Campbell. And also Jesse Bates, the third. Cincinnati's missing him now. I know that for much.
Yes, they are.
So Atlanta's working with something. They cooking with a little something. I think they're still a couple years away, but heck, why not just make me wrong and be great this entire season? Right now, though, Casey, I got Atlanta as my number 5 team in the power rankings.
I'm not mad at it, Brian.
Okay, let's see where you're going, though.
I'm a visionary, Brian.
Okay, here we go.
I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
And I would like to say happy birthday a couple of days ago. We missed it. It was on the weekend.
Can't imagine where you're going.
To the quarterback of the 5th best team in the National Football League. He turned 23. He's only started 3 football games in his career. It's Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
I am in. It has not been pretty, but all that matters is you have more points than the other team when the game ends, resulting in a win. They were down 17 on the road in Denver with a quarterback who at that time was making his 3rd start in the NFL. And what did they do? They won the football game. Now, they did give up a Hail Mary at the end. I don't know if you saw that, so they needed to stop the 2-point conversion. That was kind of reckless. But the point is this. I'm in. Sam Howell looks the part. He really does. They can run the football. Brian Robinson Jr., little Antonio Gibson here, little Sam Howell there, Curtis Samuel on the end around. Here comes Chris Rodriguez Jr. from Kentucky. Scary Terry F1 McLaurin. Jahan Dotson. I'm in. And the one thing we knew is their defensive front was good. We knew this, or at least we believe this. They have names. It's the one thing that they've built up well. Chase Young, he's back. That's why we wanted the Jags to trade for him. Montez Sweat, yeah, I'll get a couple of sacks. No problem. What you need me to do? Emmanuel Forbes, the rookie. You want me to pick off 1, 2, 3 in 2 weeks? Yeah, no problem. I got you. What a pick that's looking like. It hasn't been pretty. And I know if you've been following this segment, they got the Eagles and the Cowboys in their division. I understand it will not be easy. I get that. But I'm telling you, after 2 weeks, they were close games. Wasn't the prettiest at times. I'm in on the Washington Commanders. They have a heck of a matchup with the Buffalo Bills this weekend. I will say that. And then they have the Philadelphia Eagles. But I am all in on the Commanders. Sam Howell looks the part. Eric Bieniemy deserves a ton of credit for what Washington's offense looks like and what Kansas City's offense looks like. Because clearly, there's something there. You can stop it right there. Kansas City's looking mid on offense, and the Washington Commanders, frankly, are looking better. Putting up 35 points on the road in Denver against a good defense. I'm in on the Commanders. I got them at 5.
And Casey, the other point is Russell Wilson was playing great, at least in the first half. Like, you're dealing with your opposing QB, even though you're not facing him. Like, he was lighting it up.
It was
like, oh, my goodness. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not mad at that pick. 6 through 10 for me, Casey. 6, I got Philly. 7, Kansas City. 8, Washington. 9, Tampa Bay. 10, Geno and the boys in Seattle. Pull it out.
I've got the Falcons at 6, the Ravens at 7. I got Kansas City at 8. I got the Saints at 9. And I can't believe it. I think you said you have them. I got the Bucks at 10.
Yeah. Baker's like, you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. Carolina did, though.
I cannot. Yeah, they did. I cannot believe I've got 3 NFC South teams in my power rankings.
Ain't that something?
And 3 NFC East teams. All this talk about the AFC.
That's what I'm thinking.
I got 3 AFC teams in total. Holy cow. Those are the power rankings on a Wednesday. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690. Let's take a break. When we come back, the VIP section. Who will be welcomed in for week 2 in the NFL? We will tell you next. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. BRB!
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Partly cloudy skies this evening. An isolated shower coming in off the Atlantic. Overnight, we drop down to the lower to mid-70s, upper 60s while inland. Increasing clouds Thursday. Some scattered on and off showers through the day. Breezy with highs in the lower to mid-80s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey y'all, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K this October 2nd to 8th at Timuquana Country Club. Be sure to check out college football and your Jaguars on the Jumbotrons in the Publix Tailgate Village, Birdie Beers at Circle K Party Porch, the ViStar Patriots Outpost, and more. Grab your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com to see the legends of the game compete for a spot in the PGA Tour Champions playoffs. Don't forget Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets today.
Car Bravo is here at Nimnik Buick GMC, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnik Buick GMC is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. And with Car Bravo, it doesn't matter what used vehicle you're looking for because they certify all makes and models. And for a limited time, save an additional $500 when you purchase a Car Bravo certified vehicle at Nimnik Buick GMC. It's a win-win. You always win at Nimnik Buick GMC. Experience Used-phoria with Car Bravo online at NimnikBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Psst. Psst. You know, Jim was right. American Window Products does have it all for my window replacement. Quality, selection, service, and great installers. But the best thing is their prices. AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, 731-2247.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Fast casual dining served up old school barbecue style with a heaping side of Southern hospitality. Need catering? They do it. Third-party delivery? They have it. Need a job? They have openings. Visit williejewels.com. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Best jumbo wings in town and TVs for football season. Visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecues, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
Hubbard House is the domestic violence center that serves Duval and Baker counties with free, confidential resources. The 24-hour hotline is 904-354-3114.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's Custom Fit Orthotics Assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690. After the segment in which we did the power rankings, went on my phone, went on to Twitter to find out we have breaking news, Brian. Breaking news out of the NFL. Cam Akers has finally been traded. Felt like he was going to last year, then he didn't, then this offseason, and he didn't. Then he went into the season, and Kyren Williams has like 4 touchdowns, and everyone's like, what happened to Cam Akers? He is now headed to the Minnesota Vikings. The teams will swap 2026 draft picks. That's all it says from Adam Schefter. I do not know the rounds. And the Vikings will obviously also get the Florida State running back Cam Akers. Minnesota Vikings looking mad dumb. That's what I'm going to say.
You think so?
They said, we don't want you, Dalvin Cook. You make a lot of money. I get it, but we don't want you. We're going to let Alexander Madison do the thing. He did the thing for 2 weeks, wasn't good. And now they've traded for Cam Akers, who has been a problem for the Rams. Hasn't played, requested trades, has played not good when he has. Kyren Williams, who is outplaying him. Not weird situation. Good for the Rams. They got out from under this. Vikings, though, like what a bad start to the season. 0-2 after winning the division, winning 13 games. You have Justin Jefferson, can't win. Got rid of Dalvin Cook and replaced him with Cam Akers. Weird.
They need something to spark the running game. Well, they got poultry stats, and I'm talking about sad stats for rushing in the first 2 weeks of the season. So, you say it's good for the Rams. Yeah, especially with the way that the team looks. And, they had a real chance, even though San Francisco pulled away at the end. They had a real chance of still being 2-0 this week. Minnesota is like, hey, maybe we get back to doing a combination to where it's still cheaper than if we would have kept Dalvin, or maybe they knew something about Dalvin that we didn't know. In that way, though, that you explained it, I can see why people think they look dumb. But you got to do something, and you might as well try to make a move early on, especially after you have seemingly made a mistake in letting go of Dalvin Cook when you had that. Because Kirk Cousins, granted, if you're playing from behind, I get you got to pass. Kirk Cousins' numbers are outstanding. And I'm talking about outstanding. And there's really no garbage time because you're trying to get back into the game. This isn't like it was 40-10.
Right.
And he's just tossing the ball all over the place. So, you can, yeah. And I mean, Justin Jefferson has been pretty much outstanding too. I don't think he's scored yet this season, but he's getting catches.
He has not.
They just need that balance that they had last season. And, they're 0-2 in one-score games this season. And I saw this stat where they were 11-0. And one-score games last season.
True. That's a good point.
It's just that fine of a line. This time last year, they'd won both of these games, and they were starting that roll. So hopefully this works out for them. They think that this is the thing that's going to spark them, Casey.
They have the second leading passer in the league, the leading receiver, and the leading sack getter in the league, and they are 0-2.
Yeah, Hunt is busy. Yeah.
To give you those splits between the Vikings or the pass game and the run game for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins has thrown it 88 times this year. They've ran it 26 times.
Damn.
2.7 a carry right now for the Minnesota Vikings.
Damn.
0 touchdowns, as you would expect, multiple turnovers.
You big dummy.
Right. It was done for that.
Kirk Cousins is completing nearly 73% for 708 and 6 touchdowns. They're 0-2.
Kirk said, I'm going to the Pro Bowl. If nobody else does,
I tell you
I'm
what,
going to a Pro Bowl.
I'm going to throw for 5,000 yards whether we win or lose.
Oh, jeez.
Holy cow. Justin Jefferson, 309 yards receiving, no touchdowns. Jordan Addison, on 7 catches, has 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hawkinson's got over 100. KJ Osborne, give him 65. Josh Oliver, yes, that Josh Oliver, give him 45. I mean, what are they doing in Minnesota?
They can't run.
They can't. And I don't know if they can now. I'd bet against it.
And this is, not to get too much on a tangent, this is why this should be one of the calling card examples for, pay the running back when they really are performing, when you got a guy.
Yeah.
And we're about to see that happen in Cleveland, too. We're about to see that happen in Cleveland as well. I know they're 1-1 right now, but it's about to go off the rails because unless Deshaun Watson really gets it together, really gathers things together, it's going to go off the rails there, too.
Yeah, we weren't here on yesterday, which was Tuesday coming off of Monday night with the Nick Chubb injury. That sucked. Not a Browns fan. Don't care about the Browns. Nick Chubb's really good, so that sucked. They signed Kareem Hunt today.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
I mean.
Well, he's familiar with the.
Yeah.
So.
But, I feel bad for Nick Chubb. I think the Browns get worse. I don't know if Deshaun's it. But that was an awful injury. This stinks for Nick Chubb. Kind of like him, even though not a Browns fan, not a Georgia fan.
Same knee.
I know, from the Georgia injury.
Oh.
Not good.
I was hearing a breakdown about what, a reminder of what happened the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, how did they attach anything back together?
Here's what I would not recommend. I'm just telling you I did it. You can go back and look at a side-by-side of it's not I would not recommend it. But holy cow, man. Both of them are just, and it's the same knee. Crazy stuff. Nick Chubb, get better. Hopefully he comes back at some point to continue his NFL career. To the VIP section we go. I don't have my sunglasses this week.
Oh, well, you should take a break. Then we'll get you some sunglasses.
You got extras?
I got extras because I figured that you're going to be like, you know what? I didn't bring my sunglasses.
Then we should do that then. All right, we'll take a break. Very unexpected, but we will take a break.
That was fast. Yeah, you're right.
I've never in the I feel awful. We're taking the break. I feel awful. I feel like I'm cheating you out of content. People are going to tune in. They're going to be like, I thought this was the other station. Always in commercial. Man. Well, when we come back to VIP section, we'll let in extra people just because of this extra break we had to take. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Cam Akers is a Viking. What's going on in Minnesota? No idea. We'll be back in just a minute.
The Chief is always tracking to give you the first alert.
Get into something sturdy. If you're in a mobile home, you got to get out.
When summer season in Florida becomes storm season, put your trust in Action News Jack's first alert chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, to warn you first.
Stop traveling, get to the side of the road, let the storm pass.
No one can get you better prepared before the next storm hits.
Take shelter right now.
Mike Burrish and the Action News Jack's first alert weather team, because knowing first matters most.
Hey folks, Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. I'm here today with my son Ammon. Ammon is the air duct cleaning manager for Zero Res. So Ammon, many people ask, who should I hire to clean my air ducts?
Well, there's a few things to look for. First, does the company have an HVAC contractor's license? In the state of Florida, you must have this to legally clean air ducts. Second, is the technician properly trained? Zero Res technicians are trained and certified by the National Air Duct Cleaning Association. Third, what kind of system are they using? Zero Res uses the most powerful truck-mounted system in the industry that generates over 15,000 cubic feet per minute of air movement. Most companies use a portable unit at around 5,000 CFMs. That's a third the power of Zero Res. Cleaning air ducts is all about power.
So, what kind of deals are you running?
This month, I'll give you $50 off your air duct cleaning. And if you mention WOKV, I'll disinfect your air ducts for free. That's normally $100.
Wow, so I can get up to $150 off?
That's right.
Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
It's fantasy football like you've never played it before. You love fantasy football, right? Of course you do. Do you like competing? Yeah. You like winning? Absolutely. It's Fantasy Card Breaks with Davoli's House of Cards. You don't know your team until you open the pack of cards. There's curiosity, competition, and collecting prizes. Visit Davoli's House of Cards off 210 in St. Johns County, or just visit fantasycardbreaks.com. Fantasy football like you've never played it before with Davoli's House of Cards. fantasycardbreaks.com.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-206-7930. 904-206-7930. That's 904-206-7930.
Are you searching for your next great ride? Then I've got great news for you. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has just announced an unbeatable inventory of over 500 used vehicles all in one place. I'm talking cars under $18,000, over 200 SUVs, and more than 100 pickup trucks. Even better, right now, get no payments until January 2024. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/offers for full details.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Sunglasses have been found. I'm not going to lie, these don't look as bad as I thought. When you gave them to me, I was like, this ain't gonna go well. But now that I see myself on camera, I'm like, I could wear these to like Walmart. Do you disagree?
To like Walmart.
I don't go anywhere. Like that was like my first thought that went in my head. I was like, I could go to Walmart in these and everything would be fine. Overtime with Kurtz and Milton, ESPN 690.
I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing, right? In
Sure,
real
go ahead.
time. I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing.
You can't find it?
They are deleted. I mean, I can find it if it's not deleted from the library, but they're deleted from the actual hotkey page. Ain't that something?
Is there Trevor and Doug on there at the top?
What?
Are you still on the hockey page? We're doing this live.
No, I'm not in the hockey page. I'm not in the hockey page.
I think I might know what happened, but maybe not. Anyway, what we are going to do is the VIP section. If you have missed it, throughout the preseason and into week one, we have let some people into the overtime VIP section. If you have a big-time performance throughout the week, and we've let you in. Last week, some of the people we let in were a Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, potentially Jordan Whitehead after 3 interceptions. I believe Tua made it into the VIP section. So that's the idea of what we're doing here. We're letting players in that deserve to be in.
Stretch for 20 more seconds, please.
Throughout the season, that was the plan. I'm glad you let me know the amount of time in which I needed. Can be any position, the wide receiver, quarterback, running back, tight end. This isn't a fantasy thing. It can be the defense as well. A guy with multiple sacks like Josh Allen had in week 1 is how you could get in. Multiple interceptions. We might even see a kicker or a punter in the VIP section if it calls for it. No guarantee, but it is possible. Please tell me we're close.
Yeah, we're close, man. Hey, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the way that you just stretched or anything like that, Casey Kurtz. Here we go.
Well done, Brian. This music means it's time for the VIP section. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first? I went first last week. I led a first ever regular season entrant in. I could go again if you want me to.
Yeah. Go first for me, please. Hold on. Here we go.
The first entrant into the week 2 VIP section, ironically, is the same person I let in first last week, and that is Rams wide receiver. I told y'all the Jags should draft him, but you didn't. Number 17, Puka Nacua. It is going to get reckless around here. But let me tell you, this man had 20 targets. 20. 20.
It's crazy.
Some dudes don't throw the ball 20 times a game. They threw it to him 20 times in the game. He caught 15 of them for 147. Get this, he didn't score a touchdown. 15 catches, 147 yards, and 2 carries. They gave it to him. He touched the ball 17 times.
It's wild.
They did lose the football game. Rams are looking more real than I think anybody thought. They trade Cam Akers today. Puka Nacua is that guy. I wrote about it. Go check it. Check the receipts. I have them. This guy's legit. 2 weeks, 25 for 266. This guy's balling. Puka Nacua, week 2. Welcome back, I should say, to the VIP section.
Cooper, you better rush back. That Triple Crown is in the distance.
Oh, boy.
Casey Kurtz, it takes a lot for me to put somebody who's coming from a losing franchise into the OT VIP, but that's exactly what I'm going to do right here, okay? Denver Broncos receiver Marvin Mims Jr., Oklahoma's finest. Listen, man. The balls only came his way 3 times. Balls, that sounded crazy when I said it out loud, okay? He only caught the balls when they came his way twice, right? Targeted twice with the balls, caught it twice.
Okay.
113 yards, Casey. 1 for 60 yards, 1 for 53 yards,
crazy.
Okay? And a touchdown. Oh, by the way, he returns punts. Would you like to guess how far his 1 punt return was?
48.
You're close. 45 yards. Casey Kurtz, he touched the ball 3 times, and he basically went 158 yards.
Crazy.
Marvin Mims Jr., leave Denver. Okay, that's number 1. You can come down here to Jacksonville if you want to. Holy smokes. Talk about efficient. Yeah, you lost. Yeah, it sucks to be in Denver at the moment, but man, you were a bright spot. And for that, sir, Spicy Chicken's on the left. Tesla Keys on the right. Won't you come on into the OT VIP?
Speaking of places that it sucks to be in right now, Houston, come on down. And Nico Collins, we are going to let you into the VIP section because week 1, you had a nice showing. Not enough to get into the VIP section. Not even close. But in week 2, with your 7 catches for $146 and a touchdown, you're in. You are in. They need pass catchers in Houston. I'm like the only person that believes in their wide receiver core. I think they're not awful. This guy, he's big. He's made some plays. Hasn't really unlocked that full potential. Can CJ Stroud get that out of him? 2 weeks in, it looks like that may be the case. Over 200 yards receiving with the touchdown. Over 17 a catch. He comes to town this week to play Jacksonville. I will take my chances with Tyson Campbell, but for this week, Nico Collins, I'm not going to sell you short. The 3rd round pick. Welcome in to the VIP section. All receivers in right now, Brian.
Let's change that up real quick. Next is the homie one, Geno.
You love Geno.
My dog Geno Smith, okay. He said, listen, 0-2 for Seattle? Nah, fam. Can't do it. Won't do it. Geno said, listen, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to have a heck of a game, a heck of a comeback. I'm going to have like 320 some odd yards passing. I'm going to try to interrupt the referee when the referee's trying to talk to America.
Yeah,
no respect to anybody.
That's right.
Geno Smith single-handedly has saved Seattle's season at least for one more week, because if they were gone down 0-2, I don't know if they recover from that. 1-1 is a big difference from 0-2.
Yes,
Geno has been balling out since he got to Seattle, and he is proving week after week, unless Aaron Donald is chasing him, that he can stand in the pocket and he can pepper your defense. Geno Smith, welcome into the OT VIP.
I cannot believe what I'm about to say. But you've already let an Oklahoma man in. I have to let another one in. And I can't believe it. Welcome to the OT VIP, Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield. You're here, my guy. And I can't believe it. I doubted you. America doubted you. I wanted them to play Kyle Trask. I thought that was the best option. 317 on the Bears defense, which is a whole nother story. If this show is longer than an hour, we get into it. We try to keep it positive around here. Holy cow. What the hell's going on in Chicago? But 76% completion. Threw a little touchdown, no big deal, little 70-yarder. Baker Mayfield 2-0 with the Tampa Bay Bucks, completing 70% on the season, not turning it over, running a little bit. Brian, I'll tell you this. The one thing I think about Baker is he can rally. You can rally around him if you're a team. It could go real bad or real good. You can see people turning on him or you rally him. It's just that type of player. And I think he's rallied him. I really do. And this might be dangerous because if they have a quarterback, which it looks like they might in Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans is still him. Chris Godwin's still good. I believe in Rachaad White. I drafted him in every fantasy league I have. That's not a joke. Every one I have Rachaad White, the running back. And their defense made plays again against Minnesota and Chicago. There's tougher teams they will play. But I can't look at what Baker Mayfield did and keep him out of the VIP, Brian. I just cannot do it. Baker Mayfield. Get you a spicy chicken and a Tesla key.
I like it. I like it. We got 20 seconds, Casey.
Yeah, we do. The VIP section on a Wednesday after week 2 of the NFL season. Coming up in just a little bit is Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball as they finish out the season in Nashville. For Brian Middleton, I'm Casey Kurtz. We're back tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Dig Local believes community gardening